and Pie starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV begins right now. I'm excited about that. My boys to my left and right here as we get started. And as always, we'd like to say thanks to all of you for watching and listening. If you're listening on 93.3 Real Talk Radio, watching on Warchant TV, make sure you like and subscribe. And our thanks to Register Sausage. As always, I say, yay, sausage. What's the good news? Every time we do this opener and I mention Register Sausage, you immediately follow whatever introduction I have, the Yay Sausage moniker there, with, hey, they just expanded to California. 10 million people bought sausage last week from Register Sausage. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's we need a news service, the Register Sausage news service with daily updates. Maybe let Ben let me take over the Twitter feed. Nothing major this week, although I think some good times coming up soon. Tom told me that Ben is going to have a Register Sausage team.
He is
in the golf tournament.
The
JCS
golf okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So are you playing in that?
Of course.
No, are you playing on his team?
No. I play on my team.
Oh, okay. I see. The loyalties only go so far.
Yeah. No, we're proud to have him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kim actually went did a little grocery shopping last night. Told me she got some registers. She makes a dish. It's really awesome. It's like shrimp, sausage, potatoes, and corn.
I like this.
Like corn on the cobs. Yeah. I know. She bakes it or boils it or whatever it is. It's really good. It's really good. But anyway, the Register Sausage.
You let me know.
Completely swing on by.
Yeah, we'll sit on the porch. It's beautiful out these days, Ira.
Registermeats.com is the website. You can have it delivered unless you live anywhere basically in the country now. It seems like
you're good to go.
They're popping up on shelves everywhere.
All right. You want to add to that? Anything?
No, I'm just waiting for the next update needs to be Canada. I want to know when we're into Canada or Mexico. You keep it North America first, and then we venture out into the across the ocean.
We're on our way. All right, so it's a busy week. It's a good week. We have pro day. We have practice today. We had a scrimmage on Saturday. I think we should probably start with going back to the scrimmage. Although for those that are listening to the program, they should know that none of us were there. Nobody was allowed to be there at the scrimmage itself, which is unfortunate, but. We did get to hear from the coaches afterwards and their assessments. And I generalized this on Monday's Jeff Cameron show. I thought it sounded like the guys that had been playing well going into the scrimmage played well in the scrimmage. Like the guys that had been showing out at the practices that we've been at, Micah Pittman, for example.
Right.
He had been playing really well going into the scrimmage. Apparently had a good scrimmage. A lot of the guys had, both quarterbacks had been playing well going to the scrimmage. When they had time, they played well in this scrimmage. And again, Ezra Thomas is a guy, Sam McCall is a guy that continued to rise up the depth chart, or so it looked like they would be. It appears now, listening to Adam Fuller, like they've basically moved into second team.
Got some reps with
second team. So, again, the guys that have been playing well continue to play well in the scrimmage. I think it's a fair assessment.
Before we go into that, you mentioned the JCS show on Monday, and I hate to bring this up again.
Hey, that's you look
I
right there.
This time.
You look
literally
right
don't
there,
know
buddy.
I don't know what's going on over
right there. That guy canceled on me over some cockamamie pro day nonsense.
Is it the second week
we got
in a row?
one guy going pro around
last
here.
week they canceled on me, so I had to let people know
what I'm saying.
There seems on me.
There seems to be some friction. I mean, there are people. This has been going on for 18 years. Like you guys have been doing this on Mondays, Ira Monday for 18 years.
You're creating the friction.
And all of a sudden, it's falling off a cliff. Like this, it's not. You can't depend on it.
Hey,
anymore.
let me tell you, this one hurt. I pimped it for like 45 minutes away. And don't forget, we'll get Ira's thoughts on the scrimmage, and now my staff, which is fantastic, my cohorts.
Your staff?
Yeah, my staff. The folks who work on the Jeff Cameron show.
The minions.
Yeah. So I was not alerted to Ira's cancellation, last-second cancellation.
It was not a last-second cancellation.
I was
last
not told.
Last minute?
It wasn't before the show.
I got the bat signal probably around the beginning of the show, early in the show.
Yeah,
and I said, look, man, I can't do it. I've got the pro day interview.
I didn't get any of that. I didn't get text or anything. I mean, I'm closer to this guy than anybody on the Jeff Cameron show staff.
I know. That's what's so confounding
that.
about it. I don't, it's confusing. I don't understand what's going on.
Just so you know, this is how it hit me. At 2:20, we're going to break. And I know the 2:30 segment's the Ira segment.
We all do now. That's what we've grown up with.
And so it's kind of like, here we go. And so we're going to break. And I had been giving everybody, regaling everybody with my thoughts on each position group. And I was like, but you don't have to hear from me. Ira Chaffel is coming up next.
The authority.
And then Director Matthews frantically, no, he's called it off. He's on the other side. He's called it off. And then Tom's in my ear because he couldn't be in studio. He's like, oh, no, he canceled. You got to tell the people he's not coming on. And I couldn't do it. I was like, oh, I'm up against it. We're up against the break. It's a hard out at the bottom of the hour. So we went to break. I had to disappoint everybody when we came back. That's how last second it was.
And it is disappointing. I'll be honest. Like you're
on a walk.
Well,
and you're listening to the JCS.
And so I'm on a walk, and then I'm scrolling through because I like to watch the YouTube feed. Figure it's a better view. It gives us a little bit of cash. I get to look at you.
You get to see the picture of me from 2012.
So that's why I kept fast forwarding to see
set of hair going on there,
the raven-haired Ira Schofel. I kept looking to see that picture pop up, and I'm like, again, it's 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna have to intervene.
I stopped the scrolling right when you were talking about the Oscars, which was funny. But then I'm like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to see this Ira thing, and it never happened. And it's a disappointment, man.
Yeah, it is.
Well, he's here now, though.
That's on him. We got him here today. He showed up for this
tomorrow. I mean, next Monday, will it happen?
I'm okay. I'm going to let bygones be bygones.
I just worried that this is going to become just
a thing.
The consistent. He's not on anymore.
No, he'll be on. He'll be on. He's standing right here, but I think he's going to be on again. Yeah, we'll get forward. Well, he's on right now, so let's do this. Let's start to assess the scrimmage. So hey, because I'm pretty blunt and boisterous and pretty straightforward. And not a lot of nuance here. Not a lot of nuance here when it comes to opinions about a team, a thing, a sport, a person.
Which is a good thing in talk radio.
I think so. I mean, now when there needs to be nuance, we'll let it happen. But when it comes to things like what's good, what's not good, what we like, what we don't like in terms of this football team, I don't think you have to be all that nuanced here. There are some positions where there's gray area here, but I think we would all say right now, if people were wanting to know what we think the strength of the team is, wouldn't we say up the middle on defense?
Yeah, but on both sides of the ball, honestly.
Really? That's correct. That is correct. Right up the gut on offense and defense, you feel very good. Now, we think we're going to feel really good about Caden Lyles eventually.
We think.
Yeah, we think. Okay, so that might be the one question mark about the up the middle. But other than that, right? I mean, we're good to go. Tatum Bethune has been a huge pickup for them, and he's been very productive. It sounds like he was fantastic in the scrimmage, which wouldn't surprise you based on what we've seen up to now. Obviously, look at the interior of the defensive line. Right. You've got two guys that I think could play for anybody in this league easily and play at a plus level. We know Jamie Robinson's a good player. So, I mean, we got guys up the gut. I think that's true right now, that the spring has just kind of confirmed that.
Yeah. Fabian Lovett has been, I would say, he and Cooper have probably been the two most and Bethune, I guess, that we've seen in the practices, to me, have been the three best players on defense. Duke Cooper. Lovett just he's been built different, man. He just pushes dudes out of the way. He's good.
Yeah.
And then Bethune have all been good. And they're, Cooper's not up the middle, but those other two are, essentially. And that's because you're not going to be as good on the edge. There's no chance. But if you can be better in the middle, appreciably better, because these guys are older, stronger, better. Plus, you got a really good linebacker now, it would appear. That's a good thing for the defense. Yeah, maybe does it offset what you lost on the edge?
Well, but I think the key is how close can you get? Do we think Jarrett Verse is going to be what Jermaine was? Probably not. No. But he might not be a mile away. He's not going to be too. I mean, he's a fast, athletic, 6'4", 250-pound dude. He's not going to be as polished, but there's a lot to work with there. And then on the other side, I mean, Keir Thomas wasn't an All-American, and you got Dennis Briggs. I don't think the drop from Keir Thomas to Dennis Briggs is going to be some sizable drop.
Let's hope, but that's more hypothetical right now than proven, right?
No,
Briggs has to go prove that.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm just saying it's not like a guaranteed. There's no hope at those.
Right.
It's just there probably will be a drop off, but I do think you're strung up the middle, and then I think the question, the only big question I think right now I have is just that other corner position and whether or not. I don't know. They have a bunch of guys that can play that other corner across from Amarian Cooper, but I don't know if any of them you'd say you feel good about tomorrow.
Well, okay, so you don't know if that's going to be Noles. You don't know if that's going to be Renardo Green. You don't know who that's going to be. But I do like the candidates to not be that drastic a drop-off, speed of drop-offs from Brownlee, because Brownlee in coverage wasn't good. Fair. Brownlee was very good, physical, coming up against the run. Against average receivers, he could hold his own in coverage. But against any plus receiver, he struggled to cover, period. So I don't think they'll drop off in coverage is going to be significant with whomever it is that replaces Brownlee. You may have problems with whoever it is coming up and hitting.
Speaking of which, how would you guys have handled this? If you guys were the head coach of Florida State football.
Here we go.
Okay.
And you had a dismissal or you had a disciplinary issue with a player. Yeah. He ends up going in the transfer portal.
Sure.
And then he shows up at pro day to support some of his former teammates. How would what can you do?
No, he wouldn't have been there.
He would not have been
what can you do?
Yeah.
I mean, once he just shows up, because he showed up, if you're Norvell, are you going to like make him leave?
No, because then you cause a scene. You probably let that go. Yeah. Now that you know that, and that's a toughie. That's
I don't know, man.
It puts you in a bad spot.
I don't think the teammates. They're a pro day now, right? So they're not even on the team. I guess there are other teammates.
Current players were there too.
Even the current players, I don't think they'd be like, man, what are you doing, coach? I mean, I think they'd understand, hey, you're not a part of this program anymore. This is one of the benefits and perks. You lost by entering the portal. That would be my thought.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but
you're not wanting to throw hands, but you got a lot of big dudes around you that can.
But he's there to support, the guys he played with that are, and he wants to support.
He could FaceTime them later. He could FaceTime them later.
I just thought it was a tough spot.
It is a tough
for Norvell.
spot.
I'm not sure exactly how to handle it.
It is a weird deal. That's a tough spot, especially if it's unexpected. Dude just walks in and we're in the middle of something here. I don't have time to like.
And it was not.
Scene.
Yeah, and it wasn't like if he had been there early, then maybe somebody could go over to him quietly.
Right.
But he, I think he showed up midway through.
It was, but it wasn't an amicable breakup. I mean, you could tell when Norvell was asked about it. He did not want to. He was like, "We wish him the best," but it was very curt.
Yeah, how could it be?
Yeah, of course it's not. So yeah, I don't know. I would have been. Maybe we're just old dudes that don't forgive or move on. But I would have been like, no, man, this isn't your program anymore. Wherever you transfer to, go to their pro day. See how that works out.
So on the other side, in terms of things that we're concerned about, I'll voice my concern for this offensive line still. I don't like it. I think you've got the interior is pretty good. We think because Caden Lyles is going to eventually be that starter, and I think we think. I like both guards. Who projects to play guard? I like that. I don't think you have tackles here. I don't think you have people that you love at tackle. I don't love Robert Scott. I didn't love him last year. I don't love him now. I don't like your options. And then I know they wanted, I'm forgetting his name, to step up and help create depth.
Willis?
Yeah. He's very forgettable. That hasn't happened at all. He doesn't look prepared, and I'm not saying he won't eventually be, but he's not now. And I don't think that you can count on him to be reliable depth in terms of being a plus player. I don't think he is.
Right, he was a guy that we talked about before. As a basketball player, Willie signed him as kind of a red stretch, just kind of hoping he would, because he's physically.
Yeah, you look at him,
big, strong kid. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know that we've seen anything this spring that makes you feel good about it. Here's what I don't know, and this is where maybe I'm overly nuanced sometimes, Jeff Cameron. This is where we discuss where we differ sometimes. I don't know what's in Alex Atkins' mind. Like, I don't know if he sees the guys he's working right now in some of these positions and knows, because of prior experience, I can get this guy to where he needs to be or close to it by August or September. Or is he looking at it the same way we do? Is like, man, we got to go find somebody in the portal. I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
I don't know how, again, another example, Darius Washington moving to guard. I haven't seen anything that makes me think, oh yeah, that works. Like when Cam Irving moved to center.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it was like one day they were like, okay, that solves our problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we've seen that. So now does he go back to tackle? And if he does, you're back where you started.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. Right now, you don't. When you watch that offensive line, you're not thinking, okay, we're set.
No, not at all. And I was hoping to see that group. I thought that group would be further along. Now, they are likely experimenting with a lot of different things. We see that. Another thing is, in fairness, and Dylan Gibbons brought this up. He's mentioned it. But Caden Lyles coming over had to not only learn, obviously new offense, but the new verbiage and everything. And he's like, it's going to take him a while. This spring is for him to get acclimated as opposed to dominate.
Right.
But you look at him physically and say, once he learns, you feel good about him.
We all think he's going to be the starter, right?
Without question,
that would be crazy if he wasn't.
Well, and he needs to be, because Maurice Smith's too small.
Yeah, he is.
He's just too small.
Not getting bigger.
There's just no getting around that. He's just too small. Now, he's technically sound and he's athletic, but he's too small.
And Lyles is a monster physically.
Yeah.
Put him, that's what, if Washington can be a guard and Gibbons is a guard and then Lyles in the middle.
Oh, that's why
1,000 pounds.
You feel good about that.
Yeah, you feel
really
good up
about
there.
that.
But Bless Harris is the other guy at the other tackle but he's had moments. He hasn't been overwhelmed.
I think Bless may end up having to start.
I think he came here to start. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, I think the other side, you'd like to have, right now you have two starting-ish tackles, and one of them's Robert Scott, who hasn't been great. you'd like to have at least one more in the mix that can push those guys.
Well,
and
that's
that
why
might be where the
transfer portal.
That's where the portal comes in.
Yeah, and they're not going to say that, but I mean, just if we're looking at all the pluses, there are some negatives. I don't think this line is going to be a very good offensive line. They can maybe be average, and if they are, that's better than they've been in a long time. So we'll see. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. At Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
This is Sister Dot Brown, reminding you to tune in every Sunday morning from 9 to 11 for good gospel music here on 93.3 every Sunday morning. Dot Brown.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
Tallahassee's 30-year-old funny paper and American Legion Post 13 have joined forces to become Major Morale. The new magazine has 4 more pages of post activities and military information that you probably never knew. But don't worry, it's still as politically correct and newsworthy as always. Okay, it's the same funny stuff, but it's still only available at the sponsors' locations like Krispy Kreme, ABC Flooring, Keith Lawson Services, or Tallahassee Automobile and Collectibles Museum. See over 160 vehicles dating from 1894 to 2016 that include the first car ever built in America, 3 Batmobiles, trucks, and motorcycles. Other artifacts include the finest Steinway piano collection in the world, metal cars, antique boats and motors, sports memorabilia, case knives, and much more. Find them all at Mahan and I-10 or online at TACM.com.
Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue just north of Havana have become your destination for the best food either side of the state line. But what if you want fresh seafood? Say no more. Kenny and the crew have got you covered with seafood so fresh, the only way you'll get it fresher is if you grow a set of gills. Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue, 1 mile north of the last light in Havana. Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue, open 7 days a week. Get your fill at the grill.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Yeah, we talked about that offensive line. I think we sent some people into panic a little bit. We're just saying that there are areas of strength on this team that are obvious when you watch practice and areas that still need to be developed.
Well, right now, we think the offensive line has a chance to be better than it was a year ago.
Yeah.
And last year's offensive line was better than the year before.
But you were hoping for a big jump.
I was hoping for a significant jump, and there's some area, and I think they were hoping for better depth. And I don't think you have better depth, and I don't think they're going to make an appreciable jump forward. I think they're going to be.
I'm going to spend more time watching the tackles this week in practice because
it's important.
Well, last week Tom was doing our trench notes, so he was focused on the offensive line, so I would kind of drift over and do other stuff. I'm going to pay a little more attention. We'll see. We'll give an updated report next week.
I want you to walk through these doors next Tuesday and be like, "You are crazy, Cameron. These tackles are dominant."
Or maybe say it on
That's
Monday.
Tony Pacelli over there.
Monday
you can say it on Monday on his show if you're invited back. If that happens,
2:30. Yeah.
But I think. The reality is it's a 5-7 team. It's not all puppy dogs and rainbows, guys. Like this isn't a good program right now. It's getting better, but there are going to be some deficiencies. And this offensive line was never going to be great. We were hoping it'd be solid to pretty good, and it still has a chance. I mean, we're halfway through a spring practice. Like LSU isn't for 5 months, but it's not. They're not loaded with a bunch of Walter Joneses, but you guys knew that anyway.
Yeah. Now let's segue to a different position group and talk a little. I got asked this question yesterday. Maybe you guys have a different answer. And this is not meant to be negative. I just want to, while we're on the offensive side of the ball, not seeing anything from tight end. You seen anything beyond Cam Akers? Not Cam Akers.
Cam McDonald. It really doesn't seem like it's been featured very much.
No.
I mean, I think
there's a reason for that.
Well, I don't know. I maybe I'm too nuanced, but I just feel like they've focused so much on getting the ball down the field that hasn't been the priority of what they're focusing on.
Interestingly, Wyatt Rector's been the second best tight end.
Yeah,
he's like legitimately been the second best tight end.
He's made nice plays down the field. Yeah, they're not. Look, you can't be great at everything, guys.
No. I didn't do it for this reason. Somebody asked about it in the chat about
they haven't
been dynamic there.
You keep waiting for Cam to take like some step. And I think
because he looks like a pro.
He looks like it just built perfectly, and he just doesn't have I don't know, that next level of something that he needs. Like he'll make a catch if it's there. He'll make maybe one guy miss or fall forward, but he's just not. He's a serviceable solid. He's not a special guy. But again,
they definitely don't have anybody special at tight end. We can say that.
But the upgrade at receiver, you hope in the passing game, because look, man, Johnny Wilson he's not a tight end, but he could serve as one in their offense. In
just
obvious
make sure
passing
you don't call
downs.
him a tight end. Just call him a wide receiver and line him up a tight end.
Because he is a difference maker. He is a guy that if you just said, okay, we're gonna view Johnny Wilson as a tight end, well, you made a huge upgrade at tight end then.
Yeah, in the areas of
the middle of the field,
matchup,
third downs.
If he catches the ball consistently, he is. I don't know at this young stage of his career, will he? If you have him block like a tight end, now he can block out on the edge.
Yeah.
I wonder if he would be able to block real well in the interior. I think Cam's fine. He's a good, solid starter. I do want to mention that. I was hoping that we would see Jackson West or somebody like that moving on up and starting to assert themselves. Not seeing it this spring right now. Now, what we are seeing, I do think overall, is improved play from the wide receivers. We're sticking on the offensive 100%. Side of the ball. I don't think there's any question about that. And that is something that was was just the bane of their existence a year ago. Every time you did give the quarterback an opportunity, and guys could not beat one-on-one coverage, and they would scheme one-on-ones. And if you're not beating one-on-ones, well, you ain't going to get too many one-on-zeros. So, this is what you got. There are some guys right now who I think can win some one-on-one battles, and that's exciting. And I bet that group only gets better as their confidence grows, and Jordan and Tate have more positive reps in the sense that they have more time. If they have that time, we've seen it twice now. They've made plays down the football field that they didn't make a year ago.
Yeah, Micah Pittman really surprises me because he's not, we talked about you need some bigger receivers with bigger catch radius, and that's not him, but he goes and gets the ball.
Catches every contested ball. It's insane.
He's like one of those guards in basketball that just has a knack for rebounding. Like, you're like, how does Derwin Kitchen get 9 rebounds in a game? It's like, well, he just has a knack for getting to the ball and blocking people out, and he does that on his routes, man, even when he's not open. He also dives at everything. And makes some incredible catches. He's been really impressive. I thought he was going to be like a slot, kind of throw it out to like a Keyshawn type. But no, he's a guy that can go make plays down the field.
Well, you asked Norvell, like, why, what is it about him? And I think the first thing he mentioned, one of the first things was body control.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. That's what makes great athletes. A lot of these guys can, if they're running in a straight line and the ball hits them in the hands, they'll catch it.
Yeah.
But can a guy make those kinds of plays with his body control and then have the hands play through contact and then just want it? He seems like a competitor. which you need more of as
it
well.
is so strikingly different than what we watched at this time a year ago. I mean, they would not, Jeff, you weren't out there a ton. Well, I can't remember how much you were out there
I
in the
saw
spring.
some of the spring.
I mean,
they didn't make a lot of catches.
Even in one-on-ones, they got annihilated by the DBs. And that was not, Buckley and Dion they were going up against. They got annihilated. They didn't make any 50-50. They'd make like one a practice.
But that's where we did feel like Brownlee was like, man, Brownlee must be really coming on.
These guys can't do anything with him.
Yeah.
So they didn't make any one-on-one catches, contested catches. And now, we know it's March. We know it's not September. But, man, in practice, it just looks so much different. You throw it up to a dude. Right now, it's better than 50-50 they're going to catch the ball, especially with the 3 or 4 of these guys. And McLean looked good. He had a really kind of a breakout day on Thursday.
Yeah, it was great to see because he had enough in practice up until the final 2 drives, and then he caught everything. It was probably like 5 catches in the span.
Well, he made in one-on-ones. He made a 50-yard catch where he's running. It's a little thing. I think Jordan threw it. It's one-on-one. It's just a go basically, and he's 2 yards past the cornerback, but it's a tiny bit overthrown. It doesn't drop into the bucket, and he's running full speed, arms extended, catches it with his fingertips and hauls it in. It's like, okay. That's something.
We're not going to
do cartwheels because you caught a pass like that, but man, that's good to see.
Well, good, because he's a guy that we expected to take that step forward. He was the guy at the end of last year that you went, there's hope for him.
Well, he's not going to play.
Well, right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's accurate.
I think, and you're going to run it well because they run it well. I mean, that's what Mike Norvell's offenses do, Alex Atkins. They're going to run the ball well. I think we feel good about the backs.
They scheme angles even when they don't win bully ball.
Right.
Like they find a way.
Exactly. They're going to find a way to get – I mean, look, man, if you look at the yards per carry for their top running backs since he's been here, they've all been, no matter how the offense is doing,
right?
They run for a high average per carry. And I think the receivers are going to be pretty good. And I think the quarterback play is going to be better. So where you're concerned a little bit about that tight end position, we're not concerned, but you don't think there's a star there. Sometimes being good in all those other places opens it up. So you don't have to be outstanding at tight end. You can just have a guy run. Marquiston Douglas can run to a spot, post up a linebacker, and catch a pass.
He's a big dude. He can definitely post up somebody. I mean, it's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to make dynamic plays, but it's a huge individual. Almost looks like a guy you may want to try out tackle at some point because he's got good feet. He's athletic for his size.
You don't want your tight end's nickname Biscuit. I don't know if that's a great nickname for a tight end, man. I just think you'd like it to be, I don't know.
But generally speaking, if you have a guy on your team nicknamed Biscuit, you feel good about it.
Wasn't Cornelius Bennett? That was his
Biscuit,
nickname.
Yeah. You feel good about a guy named
right?
Biscuit.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's true.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Just generally speaking, you're like, Biscuit. Biscuit's
remember
a
that
good
guy
player.
that played, I can't remember what team it was, but he was like a walk-on manager type. He came into the end of a basketball game when they were winning, and his nickname, he's this 5'10", 320-pound kid. His nickname was Snacks.
That was a few years ago. That could play.
That was an awesome nickname.
Way to
Snacks.
go, Snacks. I think we should end on that note for a moment. It's Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
News now.
So far, the Rotary Club of Tallahassee Northside has helped raise over $17,000 for Ukraine relief efforts, all donated from the community. That money is being used for things like medical aid and food. Donations are collected here locally and will then be sent to a Rotary Club in Poland. Damon Victor, Director of International Services for Rotary Club Northside, says the support from the Tallahassee community has been more than exceptional. If you are interested in donating to the Rotary Club's fundraiser for Ukraine, go to dacdb.com. This week, members of the Children's Services Council of Leon County are heading out into the community to determine how best to protect the interest of local children. Last year, 10 council members were sworn in to take on the task, and this week, they're heading out into the community for the first of several community conversations. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MaclemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Daytime highs approaching 86 this afternoon under mainly clear skies. Winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies expected tonight. Lows level off around 59. 81 tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. Mid-70s Thursday with a chance for scattered thunderstorms. Upper 70s, partly cloudy Friday. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 77.
Where is the best place to find Michelin, Firestone, Dunlop, Goodyear, and Bridgestone tires? Nice Tire and Auto Service. Where's the best full-service auto center? Nice Tire and Auto Service. They do everything from computerized alignments to brakes, tune-ups, and safety inspections. Where can you get complete auto service you can trust? That's easy. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. Pastor Tabner was alone with a female church employee. She in a towel and he in his boxers. The charismatic 41-year-old Hurley explained the two of them had been making chili and gotten food on the floors. With the hot dogs that they were making, we are hoping that the pastor used the right condiments.
I think there was at least one hot dog involved.
I don't know what you're talking about. We were just making chili dogs.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
Seminole Headlines is brought to you by Register Sausage, serving the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. To find a store near you or to buy directly from Registers, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Anything you want to tell me about Pro Day there, Ira?
So, yeah, Jermaine Johnson obviously is the big name
Let's
that
go,
was there,
Jermaine.
but all he did was the bench press because he's going to stick with all of his times from the combine, which I don't disagree with because he had really good times at the combine. He did the bench, 27 reps at 225, which is more than probably any of us could do, probably.
Yeah. No, I didn't know.
Slightly, maybe
it's
like
a lot.
25 more than I could do. But anyway, he
what did he do? 27?
27.
Yeah.
For a
I
guy
think
with
he
long
did-
arm defensive end,
I think he
that's
did
pretty good.
27 more than you could do.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go with 27 more than you could do. Yeah.
So he was there, so there were a lot of scouts there because they're going to get to talk to him and all that. Beyond that, man, I mean, they had a lot of guys participating. Jayshawn Corbin.
I was about to say, how did Corbin do?
I mean, he looked good. I mean, it's hard to know for sure. We didn't get there 40 times because they're out in the middle of the field and we're kind of behind a pin. But
you didn't use your phone to time them?
A bunch of people were. It's pretty funny. Like he was current players.
Oh,
and
really?
it was so funny. Miko Dotson was out there running, which is I like Miko Dotson. I know the coaching staff loves Miko Dotson. He just could never get healthy. He had a hernia surgery and just could never get healthy here. But he was working out, and he when he ran, when I was standing next to a player, and the player was like, "I got him at 4.27." It's like, man, I don't think he's a 4.27.
Yeah, he's not a
doing
4.27
the
guy.
the 40 times with your stopwatch isn't necessarily all that effective. But anyway, he said he actually ran like a 4.48. But Corbin looked good. Keir Thomas. I mean, all those guys were out there. The McKenzie threw at the end. They had the quarterback. He had him throwing to a bunch of different receivers, current receivers, and some of the guys, Andrew Parchment, and some of those guys. And McKenzie, he looked good throwing the football on air.
Where's he going to coach next year? What college is he going to be at?
Man.
He might be knee deep in the NIL stuff. That might be his full-time job, is just running that NIL business that he's got. I was going to say, would it have been, because I was on the call yesterday with McKenzie. I don't think I asked him about Tate, and he really didn't talk about him much. Just said they're all looking good or whatever. But would it have been rude to ask, like, say the NFL doesn't work out and you go undrafted? Are you willing to play? And posing that as a hypothetical, like, I don't want to be just straight up rude. Like, hey, when you're not drafted,
which is definitely going to
sure.
happen. Yeah.
Would it have been rude to phrase the question though? Like, would you consider CFL or AFL or AFL 2, Arena League 2? Like,
I think you can phrase it in a way that it's not terrible.
Right.
Yeah. You would have to give it some thought.
So I did ask Parchment though, because I was thinking about, like, because he wasn't here in the spring last year. He didn't come to the fall, and I think that really set him behind. At least I did.
Yeah.
And all these other receivers came in the spring. I was like, looking back on, I know some things are out of your control, but how much more beneficial would it have been if you'd have been here in the spring to have a full spring instead of getting here in August? And he's like, look, you were out there. By the second day, I was running first team. So I was like, all right, man, well, that's an answer. That's an answer.
That is an answer.
He's like, everybody has their own journey. It just didn't work out for me here for this reason and that reason. I was like, all right, man, I feel like it would have been beneficial. But
well, look, man, he was first team because of what they had.
Well, I didn't want to say
well,
that.
That would have been good. That would have been really fun to be
Yeah.
listening in on. If you'd gone, well, we know why you were first team. This was an sorry group.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
stumbled into first team. It's not like you helped them all that much. Thanks for the 4th and 14. But
Always remember you,
Other
man.
than that,
He's got the D-Rob, Dominic Robinson. Him
Right.
both have 4th and 14 forever.
D-Rob did have 4 years in the program.
I was going to say,
Yes.
yeah.
And he did some other things. I think he caught a touchdown pass in that game earlier in that game.
Yeah.
Good old D-Rob.
Yeah, so that I'm glad you brought this up because it does help us recognize just how bad off that receiving core was, and they are appreciably better now. Now, not a dominant group, not a group that you're going to be like, oh, this is the best in the conference. We're not saying that, but much further along with a chance to continue to grow.
And the guys, 88 and 21, Portier and Williamson, and McLean, you have to assume, and they've looked better.
They have looked better.
So
Portier's looked really good on some days out there. I've been very impressed with him.
And I
Because
do
if
this
he doesn't
every
have
time.
to be a 1, there you go.
But I do this every time with Pokey. I always forget to even mention him, and he's been good.
Yeah.
Like he's made plays all spring, and maybe it's come building off that Florida game where he had a couple of incredible catches. But he's been good. So if he's better, these other three, the younger guys with Portier and Williamson and McLean get better. Plus, at least the 3 transfers you have. There's some real competition for playing
Well, look,
time.
man, there's not a lot of teams they're going to play against might have 1 good corner or maybe even 2 good corners, but not a lot have 3 or 4 or 5. So
Right.
if you start getting those guys on the field,
You get
you're
them in
going
the
to get
right
some better
spot.
matchups.
Yeah,
Plus,
get
you
them
have
in
to
the right
earn
spot.
your way on the field.
Also,
you know what I mean? Just to get on the field right now in this receiving core, you have to beat out some
we
pretty
used-
talented guys.
We use the baseball analogy, like when you have a 4-starter as your ace, like Baltimore and Pittsburgh does all the time, or a 5-star,
Yeah.
and that's why you get your head kicked in. But if they were a 4-starter, they'd be fine.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think the same thing is true here, and it's also true at linebacker right now. I think that, but because Tatum Bethune is going to be that guy that you can trust to be an every down guy and to diagnose and to trigger and make plays, and he's athletic enough he can do a lot of things well. Then you slot everybody else down into their proper spot. Like Amari Gaynor will be better because of Tatum Bethune.
Mm-hmm.
And Deloach was already getting so much better by the end of last year. Now he's your second guy or 1B, however you want to look at him. Then all of a sudden Lundy doesn't have to be thrust into action to the extent that he was a year ago. So that group gets that much better. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's true at wide receiver. We'll see some real growth there because guys can be lined up where they belong, not as the 1, but maybe as the 2 or the 3, something along those lines. And that's definitely true of Pokey.
Can we talk about Will Smith now?
I mean, we got it out there already. Yes, I want your take on Will Smith.
Here's the one thing I want to. I almost tweeted this.
This is what
the other
people
night.
have been waiting for.
Can I
tweet
do
the other
this?
night.
Can I do this before you do this?
Yes.
Because you and I think a lot alike, just our tough upbringings in real cities where people get hurt.
Right.
Unlike the suburbs of Atlanta.
the country club life on Jimmy Carter
You and
Boulevard.
Jimmy Carter over there. So here's what I'll tell you. A couple of things. Chris Rock's never been in a fight in his life. Because if he had, there's no chance, no matter what kind of decorum you're trying to keep, that a man menacingly walks towards you, anger on his face, and you keep your hands behind your back. That isn't going to happen.
And then when
First instinct is going to be, I don't think anything's going to happen, but my hands aren't going to be behind my back.
It might be a different stance. with
Yeah,
their
yeah,
feet.
yeah.
But he also, when somebody took a picture of him, like when I guess his arm was out, and they're like, this was his first inclination because he looked like he was balling up a fist, except his thumb was in his hand.
Yeah,
it's like how like a 9-year-old punches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, there were a lot of things he didn't know was coming.
On that same token, it certainly appeared to me that that's probably not the first fight Will Smith's been in.
Well,
and that wasn't even a fight, but
it wasn't a fight. It was an open hand
I'm not
slap.
thinking the first violent interaction he's had in 25 years is in front of 30 million people on some lame, dumb.
I think he was having a nervous breakdown.
It was an odd thing.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot going on there. But the one thing I did want to say is people are acting like that it's the end of civility in society. And it's like, first of all, man, there's a lot of other indications of where things are going in our
I was going
society.
to say, you could
But
go online any day.
Number 2, at the end of the day, it was a slap.
Well, it
It's
was
not
He
ideal.
didn't.
it was the
didn't
context
bludgeon
of the
him.
slap. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but people are going to see a lot more violence in a lot of different scenarios.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't see guys in tuxedos. I get it.
Yeah, in front of
the place,
billions of people.
I'm just saying, like, but people are acting like it's the horror.
So
The
I get
guy
that-
got slapped.
Yeah,
It's not
you're
the end of the
clutching.
world.
Yeah, if you're clutching pearls,
That's
it's
all
a
I'm
bit
saying.
much. That said, holy hell,
Oh, it's
how
crazy.
bad off is Will Smith? He's got
There's stuff going
serious
on.
mental anguish going on here.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
an insane reaction to a banal joke.
I think
Not even a good joke.
It wasn't not a good joke at
No.
all. And I could get how it hurt your
No, it hurt
it
your
was
feelings. Look,
but I don't know that Chris Rock knew about her condition. But
Well,
if
hold on,
he
they're
did,
married.
No.
Yes.
Chris Rock.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I know Will Smith.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
what's the matter with
well,
you?
Slap him.
Hey, let me tell you something. I think Chris Rock did know about her condition.
Well, I don't like. It's a bad joke.
It's a bad
It's
joke.
a tasteless joke. It is, but it's a joke. It's not a big. Even if he'd have just yelled what he yelled, that would have been like, okay, well, that's a little much. But man, walking
absurd.
across the stage, that's just nuts. That's incredible that we
No,
saw
it is
that.
nuts. It is nuts.
Like, I can't think of 3 crazier things we've seen on live TV.
When the guy, the video, okay, so there was a guy in Louisiana whose son was molested by a karate instructor, and he shot him in the head when they were transporting him from jail.
Well, no, but I'm saying
that
we could do a million.
That happened live.
Oh, well, we
He
weren't
gets
watching
shot
that.
in
That
the
wasn't
head.
a national.
I've seen it. It's awesome.
I'm saying we weren't all as a collective country watching that.
You know what he did? You know how he set it up? Imagine in today's airport, there'd be no chance. My man pretended to be on a payphone in disguise while they were transporting him. They're just walking him. He goes, walks out, bang!
That's how they killed Hyman Roth in Godfather 2 or shot him. The guy was pretending to be on a phone.
Probably where he got the idea.
The old payphone trick.
So I can't. I mean, national TV. There aren't many things that have been crazier than that. Where everybody was like, "What just happened?"
I didn't see it. I saw
didn't
it.
either.
I
I
saw it
saw
at like
it.
4 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't sleep as usual.
We were on a phone call with my daughter. Kim and I were on a FaceTime call, and I checked my Twitter, and I just saw these like OMGs.
People going
and
nuts. Yeah, what
did
just
that
happened?
just happen? What just
A lot
happened?
of people
That
thought it
kind
was
of stuff.
staged.
Yeah.
I did too the first time I saw the
Well,
video.
the slap to me didn't look real. It looked like he went up there and fake slapped him. I thought.
And then
the way
you hear
his
the
reaction.
sound from the Australian broadcast.
Well,
You're
no,
like, that was
but
real.
even the regular broadcast, they show everything's bleeped out. There's just a bunch of silence, but you can see Chris Rock talking. They switched to Will Smith, and you can see what he's yelling to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, this is real. Like he's mad
He's
at
like
him.
legit mad.
Yeah, like he's never been made. What a joke.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things.
What would
about
you
all-
have done? I was thinking about this because obviously Will Smith towers over me, so he would have destroyed me if I fought back. I probably would have tried to tackle him maybe on the way out. Maybe.
Well, I think you'd have taken a step back. You're not going to be in range to get hit. First of all, step out of range.
But somebody like
it's footwork, baby.
Somebody like Chris Rock, I feel a connection with Chris Rock because I haven't been in a fight since middle school, and we're smaller guys. You know, I'm not. Will Smith's 6'3", 220. What am I going to do to him?
But what did he think he was coming to do?
To do maybe a fake.
Well, I
thing.
think he thought he was hamming it up.
Yeah,
I think he thought he was hamming. I do think that. I think he thought. I doubt he thought he was going to get slapped in the middle of the Academy Award.
You drop your right foot back a little bit
Correct.
and just kind of get your hands
Ira,
in front of you, ready position.
You're getting to my point, which is footwork, baby. There's no chance I'm going to get hit, and if I'm going to get swung at, there's going to be a quick counter. So I'm prepared for that.
I would not have been prepared for that because it just is Will Smith. It'd be like Paul Rudd or Tom Hanks walking up and just smacking.
Paul Rudd walked up to you, you wouldn't be nervous.
Yeah, well, true. So, but
slap
my
me
point
again,
is,
Paul. Slap me again.
Yeah, go ahead,
so
Paul.
if it does happen and it happens to you like it happened to Rock, like I know you're stunned. So there's going to be 10 or 15
He actually
seconds.
handled it like a pro, though.
But what would you have done? Because I don't know if I would have tackled him. I definitely would have tried to do a cheap shot.
Well, he's walking. He's already. By the time
I would have left off the
being
stage.
shocked,
No,
it's
I think,
too late.
Yeah, and I think you're in his position. He doesn't have rage. He was just kidding around.
He's absolutely stunned
And
that
then he
any
gets
of this
slapped.
just
Like,
happened.
what the hell just happened?
Yeah, which is.
But he kept it so professional when Will Smith was yelling at him. I think what I would have done now that I've had, and who knows? It's like people that predict how they would act in war. You don't know.
No.
I know this isn't a war
I was gonna say
situation. Clearly, I was just people that are dumb to think that how they'd be brave in a war. You don't know. But I think I would have just said, "Hey, Questlove, I hope you win, but I'm not doing this anymore, and I'm not opening this envelope. Have Will Smith or his bald wife do it, and walk off the stage."
Well, it was a shame because that was a cool award.
Yeah,
that was a great award, and it ruined everything.
I did too. Yeah.
So I think that would have been the play: is just be like, "Y'all just gonna let him smack me, go sit down, yell at me, and I'm gonna stand on the
I think you would
stage."
have looked over at security because he would have had a right to look at security like, we're just gonna let them just roll up on the stage here, just do like whatever.
The punchline in Atlanta has better security.
Yeah, what are we doing here? This
Funny Bones has real security.
It's also crazy that Will Smith thought so little of Chris Rock defending himself that he slapped him and turned around and just walked away, thinking that you're not going to come get me.
No, he knew he wasn't going to get him. He knew that he was standing there like this, and he didn't want to do anything.
Do you think Howard Stern brought this up? If The Rock is presenting,
no, he doesn't go
no
up
chance?
there. No chance.
All right.
No chance. No, and the whole thing is crazy.
It was incredible. I can't. I went to bed thinking about it, and the first thought when I woke up is like, did that happen? Did Will Smith smack Chris Rock?
I joked about it on the
television?
air yesterday that I don't. So people know I bring it up all the time. My life's an open book. I don't sleep well, and I don't help myself either because I'll get up and do the thing you're not supposed to do by scrolling on your phone or whatever. I shouldn't do that when I can't sleep. That's how I found out about it. I actually thought because I did it that way, I thought I was dreaming. when I woke up again at 5:30, I was like, oh, I just had a crazy dream that Will Smith slapped
You
Chris
think Chris
Rock?
Rock? You think Chris Rock slept that night?
I think
he's talking with Seinfeld. Like, what's our next play? Him and Colin Quinn. What do we got to do? How we get this guy back?
The guy that didn't sleep was Will Smith, because that has to be. I mean, can you imagine the amount of things that he has to think about now? It's not a great look for him.
How would Kevin Hart have handled it?
He'd have run.
But he works out though, so
Hey,
he might have like fake tough guy. Like I can handle my own.
If he was smart, he would have run.
So Will
He's
Smith's like
5'2".
6'2".
Yeah, Will's not small.
Yeah, and he's been an action star for 25 years, so
Not
you know
that
he's got a trainer.
He trained he trained for Ali, so I imagine he learned how to throw a punch if he didn't know how already. Because you got to be able to throw that on film.
By the way, Chris Rock handled it all right. I mean,
he did. No, yeah.
As far as like
he actually made fun of the moment. He was like,
no, I mean he handled the punch. He handled the slap.
It's a slap. It's not a punch.
But that was the other thing. That was back to my point. Like people were acting like, I don't know, man. My dad's bigger than Will Smith, and my dad slapped me when I was like 15 years old.
Yeah, you didn't get knocked
and
over.
I didn't get knocked down.
Right, no. You should be able to handle a slap.
My face went numb for a little bit.
Yeah.
My dad was a big dude.
Yeah, but Chris Rock's like
but
60 years old. That's pretty good chin for a 60-year-old.
I didn't realize how old both of them are.
Yeah.
Both of them are older than us by a good bit. Chris Rock's 57. Is that right?
Yeah.
They got better makeup people.
Yeah. And I've always been a big Chris Rock fan. So
I am too.
I didn't like that. I've never been a huge Will Smith fan. I mean, I think he's a good actor.
Well, I don't.
He's all right. He's good in that movie. Did you see that movie that he won for?
I had no desire to. I've read the story. I know
it's good. It's a good movie. He's good in it.
But no, you know what he is? He's one of these guys like Kevin Costner. He's either really good in it or horrible.
But what's awesome is he's literally like his whole marketability is how likable he is.
Right.
That's what he's
got a National Geographic show that me and the kids were in the middle of watching.
But he's lovable. He's likable. That's his whole thing. And that just got sliced in half. Half the population is like, screw that guy.
Well, now you're like, that guy needs professional help. Is what you're looking at.
If you're friends with Will Smith, or if you're close, or you care about him, you are.
You're like, my man needs to see somebody, because that's not a normal reaction. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
If you're like most Americans, you're pretty much in disbelief with what's going on in the world. As we all know, global problems are having local consequences. Too many of them. And if the peanut butter really hits the fan, are you ready? Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Now's the time to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. Our food kits will ship quickly and discreetly to your door. Having food storage in your home beats government food lines hands down. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today and prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
So we'll check on the latest news out of Florida State. Obviously, people are making comments as we go along here. If we get any confirmation on anything, we'll mention Florida State there. Just another player is said to have entered the transfer portal. We don't know that to be the case just yet.
Corey's furiously checking.
My tweets aren't loading, so sorry guys.
I do know this. We did think that this was going to be a vital camp for a lot of people and an important spring for the coaches and for this program. It's to be expected, by the way, I would think, that a lot of guys will be considering their place on this team as we move forward in spring football ends, because you've got some guys who have played a lot of football that are now getting pushed down the depth chart. We said that about defensive back, first of all.
Corey Wren has apparently entered the transfer portal.
Okay, so Corey Wren has entered the portal. That is not the end of the world, obviously, that he has entered the portal. But I thought he had a good camp so far. They were utilizing his speed in certain ways that we hadn't seen previously, and he was running with a little bit more conviction. That room, by the way, that running back room is the surprise of camp. I think it's decidedly better than I would have anticipated. That's a good group.
He was a little part of that because he did look like he could be something he could get. I don't know. He wasn't going to be a feature guy by any stretch, but you give him the ball 2 or 3 times a game. He was running hard. He'd cut it up inside. Maybe he was doing that to have some film to show wherever he wants to go next, where he has a chance to actually play. But yeah, Ward's been good. Toafili. And then Benson, they all look, and even the walk-on, Campbell, has looked good too, man. They got some guys in that
Campbell's
room
looked really good, by the way. And I think Wren may have seen the writing on the wall there too.
Well, and I think it's probably not all that stunning that after a scrimmage, you maybe see where you are in the depth chart and how many carries, and you're like, okay, this isn't just going to work out. This isn't going to work out for me. Let me go ahead and get on and try to find a better spot.
And I don't fault kids for that at a certain point. At a certain point, if you're fifth on the depth chart and you've been here 2 years and a walk-on is playing better than you are,
I fault them if they do it in October.
Yeah.
I don't fault them if they do it right now because, you got to go find a home, man.
The CJ Campbell thing is interesting because back in the fall last year when he was a freshman and he was with the scout team, you'd see him break long runs. So you knew he had some talent. I didn't know he'd move up this quickly with the main group. And he looks a lot like he's not similar in the way he runs to Trayshawn Ward, but it's a very similar progression to where they've put him up against the better defense and he's played really well. Trey Benson looks good. Trayshawn's gotten better. So Feely's gotten a little bit thicker. So yeah, they're in really good shape at that running back.
Rodney Hill was a nice addition.
Yes.
That's a really nice player. We should talk about him. That's another reason why Corey Wren realizes he's screwed. I mean, it makes sense to ride if you're Corey Wren. I think they're going to lose upwards of 5 to 7 people somewhere in that neighborhood. They've already lost 2.
Well, don't we think they have to, right? Like right now, their roster numbers we don't know for sure. Right. Like there's some fringe guys that I guess we don't know for sure if they're on scholarship or not. But if you go by the scholarship numbers they had, the ones I count, the ones I counted on the roster for the spring, they had 84. And that's not counting Armella and the guys that are coming in. So that's, when you talk about those guys, you're talking about 88 or 89 guys that you have full scholarships to. So they're going to have to lose, and you want to go in the portal. So you got to get down to right now. You're at 83 with Corey Wren. You've probably got to get down to
82 with Brownlee.
No, Brownlee didn't count. I had already taken it. So they were 85 with Brownlee. So now they're down to 83. You got to figure there's going to be 6 or 7 guys that probably leave.
That's what I said, between 5 and 7. So there you go.
I think that's the normal. That's probably the normal number for
Lord
a team
knows
coming
if you got in a pinch, you could cut one of the 15 tight ends that suck. I mean,
you
got enough guys.
You don't cut. You maybe
sorry.
You suggest they might want to go somewhere else. You'll put in a good word.
Guys that can't play stacking deep at one particular position group. We're gonna move it on down the line here, boys.
Yeah. So don't you think, Ira, don't you think they'll Wren will be one of Brownlee and Wren? They're probably going to be at least 6 more guys that enter the portal here coming up in the next month.
I think there's 4 more freshmen that are expected to come in. So those spots. And then, if you're going to bring in maybe 3 portal guys, you may have to, see 5, 6 guys go.
All I'm saying is if tomorrow you heard that, Green McKnight was no longer going to be here, you wouldn't be stunned.
Hypothetically.
I'm
you're just throwing out a name.
I'm just throwing out a name.
Right.
It's random.
Sure. Okay.
But there are always guys that you like, that's a prime candidate for whatever reason to move it along.
Yeah.
They're stacked at a position. He's a junior. Why would you keep? Yeah, that kind of thing.
Right. Well, and there's also some guys that sometimes you think that, and it doesn't work out that way. I mean, Renardo Green is a guy that
now he's responded tremendously well
because he's been injured and everything. Seems like he's been passed over at safety. Well, now they move him to corner, and he's having a good competition at corner. So guys can turn it around if that's what they want to do. Sometimes, if the numbers just don't work out, it doesn't make sense.
So we're gonna get to that number, and we weren't. I guess the point is post scrimmage, post spring. In total, you're going to lose 4 to 7 people. Right. That was always to be expected. Whenever the names come out, you kind of have to take a step back and decide, does that hurt them? Does that mean somebody young has to step up in a hurry? Or do you have a veteran presence there? Like when we found out Brownlee left, the thing that hurt was I thought, well, that guy certainly was on the field a ton.
Yeah, he
maybe
played the
more
most
than
snaps
anybody.
on the team.
Yeah. So you're right. So you do lose some experience and you lose some physicality. So how is that offset? Then you assess what you have in replacement. Other guys, you're going to hear the name and you're going to go, and that's
most guys that are going to transfer at the end of spring is because they don't like where they're at.
Yeah.
In the big scheme of things.
Headliner questions forthcoming. You guys got a lot of them. We'll get to them next.
The Jeff Cameron Show, live and local on Real Talk 93.3, WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. Following a meeting with Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, President Biden says the effects of the Russian-Ukraine war go far beyond Europe.
Today, with the Prime Minister's visit and Singapore's strong leadership on this issue, it's clear that Putin's war is an unacceptable to nations in every region of the world, not just Europe, but in every region of the world.
Other topics the two leaders discussed during the meeting, North Korea and China. U.S.-European command leader says the country will likely need to add more permanent or rotational forces in Europe due to the invasion. General Todd Wolters did not specify when or how many as he spoke to the Senate Armed Services Committee earlier Tuesday. Also at townhall.com, more Russian diplomats in Europe have been told to get out of town.
The Dutch and Belgian governments have announced they're expelling a total of 38 Russian diplomats, the latest European nations to announce such expulsions. Poland last week expelled 45, whom the government identified as intelligence officers, using their diplomatic status as cover to operate in the country, while the Netherlands said it was expelling 17 Russians accredited as diplomats, but who were actually more intelligence officers. Germany's foreign ministry says it's prepared for a retaliation from Moscow. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
And late reports within the past hour, Czech Republic has expelled 1 Russian, and Ireland has given the boot to 4. For those older than 50, the FDA will allow people to get another booster dose of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. Authorities say that age group can seek a 4th dose at least 4 months after the first booster. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
What's important when shopping at a gun store? Let's start with a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Then add top-notch service, great selection and pricing, and a personal shopping experience only found at a locally owned and operated business. At Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
Live and living color and totally free. Subscribe to Warchant TV on YouTube, the digital home of Warchant.com. From the practice field to pregame and the phone calls afterwards, Warchant's YouTube channel is home to live programming like Seminole Headlines, Wake Up Warchant, The Jeff Cameron Show, as well as Trench Talk, a live Q&A with Noles offensive lineman Devontae Love-Taylor. Just search Warchant on YouTube and click or tap the subscribe button. That's it. It's totally free. Warchant TV on YouTube. Just another reason we're the ultimate Seminole sports source.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Corey's gone with a wardrobe change for a reason. Come on, man.
I needed the hat more than anything, honestly. I was tired of looking at my shiny bald head. And I had to get a water, too.
Hey, by the way, you're bald.
I know, but I mean,
you have been a long time.
I know.
Hey, buddy, guess what? I'm bald.
Yeah, you're wearing a hat.
Well,
you're covering it up.
I am right now because we're going to be out in the sun.
Right.
But otherwise, I'm in a studio. I wouldn't care. I wore this walking out of my house this morning knowing I was going to be in the sun today. What are you doing?
Hey, man, I'm adapting. I'm making changes on the fly.
Man.
Like a great quarterback.
Ira, are you going to start becoming that kind of prima donna? Do I have that to look forward to as well? Are you going to get...
I'm trying to get on Corey's level.
It's impressive. Headliner questions.
Mixing drinks?
It's my little squirt.
He can't just drink water.
I hate the taste of water, so I got a little black cherry.
There's no taste in water. I don't understand that. That's the problem you have more than anything else, is that it doesn't taste like anything?
Yeah. Anyway, hey, how we doing with
carry around a freaking squirty bottle of flavor?
Yeah,
he does.
I sure do. It's good for mixed drinks too. When you're drinking a vodka water, I can't just drink vodka and water, so I got this thing, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna add it to my regular water consumption, and it's changed my life. Ira, look at this. Look at this picture of health.
I love it. It's ridiculous. Yeah, poor Stephanie. All right.
Hey, keep my girlfriend's name out of your mouth.
Oh, there we go.
Keep my girlfriend's name out of your mouth.
There we go. Birch Orthodontics is about to take Bryce's braces off.
This has been the longest countdown in brace removal history.
Well, before we left for Montana, he went in and they said, we thought maybe today was the day, but it's going to be when you come back. And then luckily we've had it moved up. It's going to be like in a week, maybe a little less than a week, something like that.
We had some responses last week from people, I think in the comments on the video and the YouTube, that people were saying that your orthodontist advice might not have been on the mark. They believe retainers are important.
Well, that's what they want you to believe. That's what big orthodontics. That's a word, right? Wants you to believe.
They're sheeple.
Yeah. They just want you to believe the retainers. They don't do anything.
That's what it is. But hey, listen, I said I would abide.
I'm going to say this: if you're going to go to Birchworth, if you're going to take our recommendation, you show up at Birchworth Orthodontics, and
they
you
tell
say,
you to wear,
and you say that you're here because you heard it on Seminole Headlines, which you should.
Yeah.
You better follow the directions. You can't. We can't have renegade patients showing up at Birch Orthodontics. Dr. Birch is going to yell at us.
No, I didn't. Listen, I did
follow
not
the protocols.
Yeah, that's fine. By the way, Birch Orthodontics is where you need to take your kids for that protocol and their advice and their expertise and their kindness and their ability to help out financially with any number. Yeah, they're all set. So Birch Orthodontics. There you go. If there was one moment in FSU sports that you would like to walk up to and go all Will Smith on and pop its jaws, what moment would that be? And what moment would you be your Chris Rock in essence?
I'm going to go with
any of the wide rights.
I'm going to go with the Tebow game where he looked when he had the red paint on.
Oh, that stupidity!
And they acted like he was like Mel Gibson in Braveheart or something.
Yeah,
that moment was ridiculous because it was so Tim Tebow overhyped. ESPN, CBS. It was
the first wide right or the second wide right against Miami? Which one would you?
The first one, because the second would have only tied it.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
And that cost them a national championship.
Well, it did cost them a national championship. So that was pretty easy. We were straightforward.
Yeah.
Although I like yours too, Ira. Gator Kirk, good afternoon. Would you consider the football season a success if this team goes 8-4, but loses to Clemson, Miami, and Florida? 8 wins, I'm going to say yes.
Man, you'd like to not lose to all three of your rivals, to your two rivals and your ACC rival. But yeah, man, if you're 8-4, it's hard to walk away from that and say,
if they win 8 games and they lose those
I
three.
think those are different questions, though, right? Like, I don't know that we would consider 8-4 a success with those 3 teams being the teams that beat you. But I also don't think we'd be like, oh, blow it all up.
No.
We'd be able to say, okay, they're going in the right direction. 8-4 is a nice season.
So if they go 8-4 and their 4 losses are to LSU, Miami, Clemson, and Florida,
that means you beat NC State on the road.
It means you beat NC State on the road. It means you beat teams that
you're beating the teams that you're restoring some order with the teams you need to beat.
You have to do that.
Got a road win against Louisville on a Friday night.
But
yeah, that's
also
right.
understanding.
Speaking of, by the way, that game, it's awesome. So I bought Pearl Jam tickets pre-COVID.
No, I did too, in Nashville.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
That's where I was going. You and I were going together.
And I never
didn't know
sold them.
it.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I didn't sell them. So Pearl Jam has announced they're going back on tour.
Right.
Did you see the date that they're going to be in Nashville?
Oh, the Friday night?
The Friday night of the Louisville game. And I can't sell them. They won't let you sell them because it's Pearl Jam. And they have they won't let Ticketmaster resell those tickets.
Yeah, they won't let Ticketmaster do it, but you can do it.
No, it won't let me. So anyway, that's fun. So you might be going to Louisville so I can go watch Pearl Jam.
Well, but I have tickets too. That's the problem. So it looks like Ira's on his way to Louisville.
We'll just do what we do, man. We'll just, whoever shows up, they'll cover it. That's how it works. It works.
But anyhow, back to the point. If you lose to LSU, Clemson, Miami, and Florida, I got to say, I mean, it would suck. But if you win 8 games,
yeah, the problem
you're
with
making real progress.
The problem with this program recently is the losses to Louisville and NC State
and Wake by a million.
Like, Ira's right. That's the perfect way to describe it. Restore some order. Start beating the teams you should beat, and then get on equal footing with the teams that have the same resources.
Because we know the opposite. If you just beat one of them but lose to everybody else, which is what they did last year,
right?
It doesn't make you feel great.
You're
still 5-7.
8 wins makes me feel good. Better. Michael writes, who would win in a fight, Menelik Watson versus our entire tight end room? Also, does FSU have any interest in picking up Demas, the A&M wide receiver who just entered the transfer portal?
That's got to be a joke.
Yeah, that has to be a joke, right? No, given what he's done.
Yeah. They're definitely not picking that kid up.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't know the story there.
Caving teeth, female persuasion.
Oh, yeah. No. Is that why he got kicked off the team, I assume? Right?
Yeah, but he's been arrested a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah.
Not
the
again.
answer is no to that one.
Yeah.
Ryan writes, I'm sure Sweet Pea has already brought up the Oscar slap. So I ask each of actually Ira did. So I ask each of you, what's the closest you've come to a physical altercation over your lady?
Ooh.
I was at Ken's one time, and we were playing pool, and the girl I was dating had put her quarters down, and I walked over to get a beer, and some guy said that she wasn't next. And I was like, hey, look, man, the quarters have been there. We've been sitting here. Sorry. It was just cordial or whatever. And he was like, said something derogatory about her. I was like, well, we're about to have a problem. So that'd be pretty close.
Not since high school. I had one in high school, one where I totally misunderstood. I was walking with the girl I was seeing, and this kid said something about a girl, but I thought he was talking about Anne-Marie, the girl I was walking with.
Oh,
and it wasn't.
Ira was quick to turn around.
And
What'd
so
you say?
I did.
Yeah.
What did you just?
And it turned out, I found out later he wasn't even talking.
He's like,
about
man,
her.
what are you doing? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Brad writes, I have noticed recently some of our social media posts and graphics having ads on them. There was one of Jordan Travis with a Whataburger logo attached and one of Parker Messick with Teco People's Gas. I hadn't noticed this until recently. Is this attributed to Michael Alford's new tenure in an effort to increase revenue? Have you three noticed this? Seems smart, and I'd never noticed it until recently.
I had not noticed it, so if they are doing it, I do think it's new because I don't recall seeing that.
Didn't they do it like during Jimbo's tenure back when they were good? They'd have like the Home Depot practice report or something on Seminole.
Yeah, I mean they've done sponsorship
like that, but not
things,
for just tweet, not just straight up random tweets in the week. Yeah, I don't know.
I hadn't noticed it either. I haven't been that observant on social media.
Wonder what that pays.
But we'll give Michael Alford the credit.
Yeah, sure.
Way to go, Mike.
Yeah, bring in some money, bring in some cash.
Noles up to number 5 in the D1 baseball rankings. If you're looking at RPI too, like Boyd's World stuff, it's because of their strength of schedule. I'll just side note there. And big baseball game tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
this guy, the Martin family haters are going to have to be quiet now. How is the punt catching coming along in spring football?
I mean, they do it. They work on it, but they worked on it last year too. I mean, Micah Pittman's going to be – if Micah Pittman's back there, I think they'll be fine.
The problem is when they on Thursday they practice in the IPF and you can't punt there. It's the roof is too small. Every time Mastromano kicks one, it hits one of those things called
rafters kind of things.
Yeah, just it bounces around in the rafters, so it's hard to know. But when they're outside, they look like
Well,
Pittman
today
goes
we're going to get a chance to see them
Yeah.
outside because it's a picture-perfect day, and I do get tired of watching them punt indoors because everything hits the damn ceiling, and you're like, well, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Hello, boys. Oh, sorry. Hey, guys. Taking bets on whether or not Hubert Davis unceremoniously ends Coach K's career. I don't think so. I think Duke's going to the finals.
I will say this. Duke looks a lot different than they did during the regular season. I know North Carolina kind of handled them a little bit. But I think Duke is playing a lot different. They seem much more resolved.
But man, North Carolina is a turned into a steamroller, man. Like,
well, they're playing to the recruiting rankings. They're playing to what they have.
But other than that 10-minute stretch against Baylor, they've been. I mean, they've had 25-point lead in 3 straight games in the NCAA tournament. That's
they were
great.
playing really well
going
in towards the end of the year
Yeah,
too. They kind of steamrolled through there.
I don't know if you remember, they steamrolled Florida State pretty good up there. I don't know if y'all recall that game.
Yeah, I think they got the best of them.
Yeah,
I think they're up 38 at half, maybe. By the way, we haven't even talked about you're Miami. You've played great for 3.5 games. You're 20 minutes from the Final Four,
and then
my goodness. 47-15
second half.
Kansas looked like a team, though, that if they are going to play like that, nobody, Duke, North Carolina, Villanova, no, that's not happening.
But
Kansas
I mean,
is going to win it all if they play like that.
I mean, Miami's got a bunch of 24-year-olds on their team, and then to get outscored by 32 in the second half when you're that close to the Final Four,
I'll just say this: if you're
it's pretty remarkable.
But if you're a Cane, you're not thinking of it that way. You're thinking of it as, okay, we lost to a blue blood that is the remaining 1 seed that might win it all, and we got to the Elite Eight as a 10 seed when we were projected to finish 12th in the ACC.
I got that, but then when you're that close to the Final Four and you get bludgeoned
I agree.
that, you completely collapse.
That part sucks.
That's rough.
But I'm just thinking, like, if that were Florida State and that happened where they got physically overwhelmed by somebody who just has better players at every position, which Kansas does, and we were preseason predicted to finish 12th in the ACC and got to the Elite Eight, I wouldn't exactly be pissed.
But what stinks about college basketball now is because of the transfer portal age, every team is completely different every year.
Yeah.
So
you don't know if that's a building block.
You can make a run and be like, okay, man, we'll wait till we come back.
Yeah,
we
that
only
might
lose this guy.
that might be their one and only shot, and they got outscored by 32
by
points
the way,
in 20
it
minutes.
is. It's why I celebrated their lopsided loss. It's good to know that this little upstart group that put it all together very late with 25-year-olds everywhere is now done.
I think they said their starting lineup is older than the Oklahoma City Thunder and another NBA team. They had a older starting lineup than those two teams.
Butch notes that baseball is obviously playing with a little bit of momentum right now, despite what happened on Sunday when they took the beat down against Duke. Looking at the upcoming schedule, this team is going to see a lot of quality teams with quality pitching and hitting. We know pitching is our strong suit. Do they have the focus week in and week out to close out these weekend series coming up? Go Noles. I don't think they have to. I don't care about closing out weekend series. I care about winning weekend series, and they've won every one of them.
It is weird, though. Like Mike Martin Sr., like they used to always win every Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was
a big to-do.
I mean, they just would never lose on Sundays. This team, man, once they get their 2 wins, they're just done.
Taking an ass beating. Well, I mean, look, it's weird, though, because this last one, and there were a lot of problems, but it's really bad when your starting pitcher, who you expect to be great and has been in his last 2 starts, goes out and, promptly sucks in the first inning. I mean, you're down 4-0 before you even blink. And then you got problems picking up the baseball, which is a weird thing because they have games where they look really good defensively, and then when it goes south, it goes south.
Yeah, it's like momentum. It's like
weird.
contagious with them.
Yeah, but
they only struck out 9 times in that Sunday game. They did. I mean, that's not a lot for that's lower than their average.
They had a stretch there where they struck out considerably less than 9.
Yeah, then they had
6 in one game.
If you take away the 28 they had in the one game,
that excuse it a little bit.
Excuse the average a little bit.
Everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I listen. There are a lot of flaws on that team, but their strengths are strong. It's a weird team. They have power, and they can really pitch at the top of the rotation. Some of those freshman arms are really good out of the bullpen. So you got a couple guys that I think are emerging to help solidify that bullpen, which has been a problem. They've been shaky.
Yeah.
So if you get that, you can maybe overcome the fact that you're, not elite defensively and that you don't run the bases all that well.
Well, that's your thing. not running the bases well. That's a thing around here. But they do other things really well. Having the best starting rotation in the country is
it's a good,
pretty solid thing to have.
That's how you win a lot of weekend games series. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment. And simple. 2 words you don't hear many people use to describe their experience going through the process of getting a home loan. That's what puts the Hamilton Home Loans experience in a category all their own. If you're buying or refinancing a home, Hamilton Home Loans will provide a personalized mortgage experience that is dedicated to making the process refreshingly simple. It all begins with an initial consultation with an experienced Hamilton Home Loans advisor to find out what your goals are in order to find the right mortgage to suit your specific needs. Then, your personal home loan advisor will take you through all the steps from application, underwriting, approval, and closing, all the way to the front steps of your new home. Once you've experienced the Hamilton Home Loan process, you can be a customer for life and never have to pay lender fees again. For first responders, nurses, physician assistants, teachers, active and retired military, ask about the Hamilton for Heroes program. Personalized attention with your needs put first. Now that's refreshingly simple. Find out more at HamiltonHomeLoans.com. That's HamiltonHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 200719.
Hi, this is Jamie McClenny from Trek Financial in Tallahassee. Managing downside risk in your portfolio is one of the biggest challenges that you'll face in retirement. Trillions of dollars in stimulus from the Federal Reserve and D.C. politicians, combined with zero interest rates, have propped up financial markets since the financial crisis ended in 2009. The Fed recently ended quantitative easing and has started to raise interest rates at a time when the global economy was already slowing. Have you considered what another 50% correction in the stock market would do to your retirement plan? If you're concerned about where this all might be headed and would like to find out about the potential benefits of an active risk management strategy for your portfolio, give me a call at 850-900-5200 and schedule a time for a review of your portfolio from an active risk management perspective.
Make Jamie your first call for a second opinion. Investment advisory services are offered through Trek Financial, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Every great construction project, whether it's a new addition or renovation, starts with a plan. At T-Spark, we are excited when our clients contact us to assist with that plan. Through our team of architects, draftsmen, engineers, we can help you with your project's planning and design, potentially saving costs in the long run. Whether you have a residential or commercial project, we look forward to working with you. Call us today or visit us at tsparkconstruction.com. License number CGC 1525336.
Tallahassee's 30-year-old Funny Paper and American Legion Post 13 have joined forces to become Major Morale. The new magazine has 4 more pages of post activities and military information that you probably never knew. But don't worry, it's still as politically correct and newsworthy as always. Okay, it's the same funny stuff, but it's still only available at the sponsors' locations like ABC Flooring, Tallahassee Automobile Museum, Krispy Kreme, or Keith Lawson Services, providing professional services and maintenance for your home's most critical systems for over 39 years. If you need air conditioning, heating, or plumbing repairs, you will receive an upfront written quote, and the job will be done on time by the area's most advanced, highly trained professionals. Keith Lawson Services, Florida license CMC 125456 and CFC 1429-197.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Twitter question from Tim. Did anything ever happen to the NIL law in the state of Florida? No, it's nothing.
Right? Yeah, it's still there. I like how you're showing your cash.
I was just
fat stack
playing with my wallet. This little metal
wallet,
thing.
It's a metal thing.
It's
you're just letting everybody know what time it is.
Yeah,
those are ones.
Dollar bills.
Yeah,
yep.
the big rollers put the ones outside.
Yeah,
we know how it is.
You know how it rolls. What up, Sausage Kings? From Walter on Twitter. FSU ranked 105th in both third down conversions and time of possession tempo. While a more productive tight end room is one easy solution, is there value in going slower on second down, resulting in third and short or better more often?
Yeah, but didn't he say they went slow last year? Isn't that what the point was?
Time of possession was.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I got
no,
you.
Listen.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, there's two ways to look at that.
You got to win first down to give yourself a chance
Right.
to execute much better on third down. Starting with that.
But they're terrible on third down. They were awful on third down.
Yeah, but
if they had
again,
been a little bit better.
But they're also in a lot of third and bad situations.
Yeah.
My point would be two things on that. They weren't a drop back passing team at all. So if everybody in the world knew you had to throw, that's not good. You can have receivers that could get open, and your quarterback has to become more accurate from the pocket.
And not a great offensive line.
And their offensive line
So
sucks. So third and short.
Yeah.
So third and short, you're not going to bully anybody out of there. So you had a lot of problems on third down.
So I don't think. Yeah, but to your question about tempo, no, I think Norvell wants to have tempo be a part of it. I mean, they're not going to be breakneck, but they definitely want it to be a part of what they do.
Central Florida Noel wants to know that if we made a disparaging remark about one of FSU's scholarship quarterbacks that was considered over the line, who would we least like to be slapped by in that bunch?
Current quarterback?
I guess so. I don't know.
Well, none of them really, but I would think.
Actually, A.J. Duffy. I don't want to get smacked by A.J. Duffy.
Yeah,
He seems
that's
the biggest of the bunch.
That's the call.
Also, I don't like an 18-year-old slapping me. That's
No.
what could be more emasculating than a teenager slapping you. At least the other kids are in their 20s. You
Yeah,
know
no,
what I mean?
I'm not getting smacked, period. But I'm just saying, if that is going to happen.
What would, oh, man, what I would pray for A.J. Duffy if he smacked you in the face. Are you kidding me?
This nonsense.
Are you, especially if it was a backhanded slap.
Oh, my God.
Just
It's not
the
going to happen,
disrespect.
first of all. It's
All
not
right,
gonna
he
happen.
would not.
That
he wouldn't
would have
dare.
been if Will Smith had backhanded.
Oh, my God.
That was the only thing that was missing.
Mooks Kepka writes, with strikeouts making up far too much of college baseball games, he's talking about in general, what's a rule change you would implement to help correct this and help put more balls in play? Well, so he's
automated strike zone, robotic strike zone.
I will tell you, college baseball umpiring is unwatchable.
They're the worst.
It's unwatchable.
They are the worst.
It is. It really has gotten to a place where, bless their hearts, I get it. I guess they're trying to speed up the game or something. But I mean, God, dog, you got a guy that if he shows he can repeatedly hit a spot, be it 6 inches off the plate or not, if he can throw it there more than once in a row, it's going to get called a strike. It's insane.
Yeah.
But what's worse is they'll give the low and outside, and then they'll come out and give it high and inside.
You can't give them both.
Like, man,
you
come on.
can't give them
And
both.
I've never
man.
done it, and I know there's probably people listening to this or watching that have done it, and I'm sure it's hard. It can't be that hard to you can't, like, why would you think a ball that is on the chalk of the other batter's box is a strike? Why would that ever be called a strike?
I don't know how they get fooled that much. I had a friend who passed away not all that long ago who did umpire in college. And I would ask him about this.
Like, why do y'all all suck?
I'd be like, listen, he's a great guy. And he took criticism well. And I wasn't specifically talking about him, but I would say to him, like, man, how come every time I watch a college baseball game, I'm just enraged by the incompetency? And, I mean, obviously these guys, they don't have the pro baseball, umpires union behind them. They're not making the kind of money that would then probably draw more competent and experienced umpiring in. You don't have that. So
I think I got my theory. It's much like the charges in college basketball, which are out of control, and it ruins the sport. It almost legitimately ruins the sport. I hate it. But it must be pretty fun. Like, it's fun to call a charge.
Ring somebody up.
To ring somebody up must be, instead of just sitting there doing nothing.
And giving them that is fun.
You would want to do that all the time.
Yeah.
So if it's anywhere close where you can do your kaka with the punch,
you're eager. You're like, oh, let's close it up.
let's ring them up. That must be a great feeling, as opposed to a ball. You don't do anything. You just sit there. You don't even say anything. Sometimes some umpires will say ball.
Yeah,
other guys
they
will
do
just say
all
nothing.
say ball, even if it's under their breath. Like,
but there's
ball.
no machinations.
Well,
with it.
maybe to avoid ringing people up unnecessarily, you could have fun with ball calls.
There you go.
Yeah. You like ball. You start dancing around. Everybody's having all kinds of fun.
And then if he takes his base, you do a crazy
on
ball
call. 4, you start pelvic thrusting. Take your back.
Yeah. Why do the pitchers get the cool
it's
stuff?
Entertaining as hell for everybody. Which Nole in this draft class, Brandon on Twitter, other than Johnson, do you think has the longest, most productive NFL career?
It's not a big bushel of fruit to choose from there. Good grief. I would say Keir Thomas, I guess, right? I mean, Corbin. I think Corbin will get drafted and play some. The shelf life of a running back, you're done in your mid-20s.
One who's been hurt before and doesn't have elite skills at any one thing.
I think Thomas can play.
Thomas
Thomas
agree
can
with
be
you.
a backup defensive end in the league for a while, I would think. Or defensive lineman of some sort.
I agree with that. Do you agree with that?
Possibly Jordan Wilson. I mean, he's got the body as a blocking tight end. Possibly, but no, probably.
It's a toughie. Yeah, it's tough. So Brandon, I think that's indicative of where we're at.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of options besides Jermaine Johnson to have a long NFL career, but Jermaine himself may go top 10. Crazy to watch. A lot of fun.
Always impressive when that dude speaks, too. Always. He just kills the interviews.
Clint wants to know if you're doing an extra 30 minutes for us today, Ira, after missing the JCS yesterday.
I should.
2 straight weeks. Yeah.
Here we go.
I'll stay afterwards and time out while you guys go about your day. I'll just sit here
and just
talk to myself.
Talk about the Will Smith.
When you posted the Twitter questions, Ira, Nate jumped in immediately and said, before obviously this happened, where you showed up, he wrote, "What time is Corey's appointment tomorrow?"
yeah, that's right. No, I'm not doing that anymore. No more Tuesday appointments for this guy.
Really well done, right?
No more
there.
Tuesday appointments for this guy.
Roger wants to know, Jeff, Silver Fox, and Sweet Pea, now that NIL is a thing, could the pancake folk concentrate their efforts on our walk-ons? Imagine the possibilities. Yay, sausage. Yeah, I used to talk about stacks of pancakes for people, which, of course,
Sure,
money.
but you don't want to do that with the walk-ons.
Well, but I guess the theory there is, okay, so you provide scholarships by normal, traditional means.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then you go find the CJ Campbells of the world and those guys and maybe pay extra players to not be on scholarship. But scholarships, I think, like 50 grand, 60 grand,
Sure.
something like that. Everything all considered. Saying like,
I just feel
sign
like
a bunch of other guys.
The people you're competing against are given those scholarships on top of here's $800,000 to stand at this auto parts store for an hour.
Right.
That's the tough thing you're dealing with.
Couple of things here. I like where these two guys are going with
But
it.
I like
'cause
it.
it's
I
an
want the
interesting
walk-ons to be
question.
taken care of.
Richard writes, if Tate has a great spring, is there any chance that he hits the portal in search of a starting job? That's not a terrible question.
Yeah, maybe we should just quit talking him up so much.
Well, he's had a good spring so
He
far,
has. He's
and
been good.
I don't know how great he was in the scrimmage, but it didn't sound like he took a step back, so that's good. He doesn't strike me as the type to want to leave at all. Like if I'm guessing kids, there are guys that kind of every now and then personality or something that they'll say, you're like, I don't know if this guy's long for the program, but he strikes me as he's in here and he loves it here, and he's fine.
Pretty good authority. You don't have to worry about that. Now, if we're 2 years from now and AJ Duffy gets the job, and
then you have to leave. Then you almost have to leave.
But that's not anything you need to worry about anytime soon.
And then Texas Noel wanted to know, does Tate's impressive spring to this point make it a quarterback competition in 2023? How excited are we for the 2023 QB room?
We think Tate and AJ,
or Travis,
and Chris
too.
Parson.
Travis will be still on the team.
I don't know, man.
Think he might bounce a little?
Well,
early?
I mean, he's at that point he'll be 5 years out of high school.
Yeah.
I mean, whether he's
just for the purposes of this conversation, where he's going, the spirit of this, let's just assume Jordan's gone.
Yeah, that's what I think he's saying.
Oh, okay. I thought it might be if he's so good, maybe he challenges Jordan.
I mean, I just don't think. I could be wrong. I just don't think Jordan's gonna. I think Jordan's gonna think I'm gonna have as good a chance to make the NFL next year as I would this year, and I'm 23 or whatever. So why not go?
Oh, see, I was thinking like, well, I'm not going to play in the NFL, so I want my one last year of college. I want my one last year.
Yeah,
of
but he's
football
going with the way he's thinking that he's thinking.
You're probably right. Yeah, man. Look, man, Rodemaker has been a big deal, but we're going to keep talking about this. If he goes and wets the bed in that Garnet and Gold game, everything. I'm not expecting him to. The way he's played, he's looked really good. But if it did happen, doesn't that give you pause as a coaching staff? And I'm now not answering his question, but doesn't it give you pause as a coaching staff about what his ceiling really is? Is he one of these practice players that is just always going to kind of? And I know it's just a spring game, but would that give you enough pause that, man? Okay, maybe he's just not going to ever be the guy with the lights on.
Right.
Because when the lights off, this spring he's been good.
It's fair to ask that. But I do think because we've seen so many practices now where he has looked good, I think I'm more inclined to throw away what we saw his first year and a half on campus. Because if you think about it, first year was the pandemic year where the whole thing was a nightmare. He's thrown into action, does not do well. And then last spring didn't do well in the spring game. But I also think part of it with him is he's gotten so many good reps now with like real blocking and better players around him. And you've seen him step up.
Yeah, it's slowed down for him.
I don't think you're going to see him regress.
Well, and he's been playing with good receipt. Like, okay, so
better.
We don't talk about the depth chart. We won't because they allow us to go to practice. But just know that, nobody was given a spot on the starting team if they were new. So that'll actually be interesting. This practice we go out to today, like, because Jared Verse was talking about that, like the scrimmage is where they shake up the depth chart. I'll be interested to see if any of these new guys are maybe playing somewhere.
We just won't be able to tell you.
We won't tell you. But with that said, you get to see what Rodemaker looks like with competent wide receivers, which has been and some blocking. Not great blocking, but some blocking.
Well, a lot better than he had last year.
Absolutely. He was working fourth string last year. He was basically a scout team guy, essentially. And I was thinking about that, man. And I know Milton had a role, and maybe the benefits outweighed the negatives, but he took a lot of reps from those two dudes, and especially Rodemaker. And you wonder what their growth would have been had they been getting those reps with the second team or first team instead of Milton.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV continues in a moment.
A video that depicts a Tallahassee police officer forcefully taking down a suspect on Railroad Avenue in St. Francis Street Friday has been making its rounds on social media. The video depicts the officer flipping the suspect upside down while placing him under arrest. Officers were speaking with the man as a result of a hit-and-run traffic crash, which he was a suspect in. When officers tried to place the suspect under arrest, he resisted and was taken to the ground and transported to the Leon County Jail after that with no injuries. The department confirmed that the suspect had a knife during the arrest. The knife can be seen in the body cam footage. The officer involved in the incident has been placed on paid administrative leave. The Florida Department of Health in McCullough County issued a high bacterial level advisory for Shell Point Beach Monday. Swimming is not recommended due to an increased risk of illness. DOH McCullough said they will be conducting follow-up sampling and testing and will remove the advisory when levels are within an acceptable range. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Daytime highs approaching 86 this afternoon under mainly clear skies. Winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy skies expected tonight. Lows level off around 59. 81 tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. Mid-70s Thursday with a chance for scattered thunderstorms. Upper 70s, partly cloudy Friday. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 77.
This is an important message regarding your backyard grilling capabilities. Upgrade your outdoor grill, indoor and outdoor fireplaces, wood stoves, or create a custom outdoor kitchen. The team at Hearth and Patio can do it all. If you haven't seen all of the amazing things you can do with a custom outdoor kitchen from Hearth and Patio, take a minute and visit their website, hearthpatiotallahassee.com. That's hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Call Hearth and Patio today at 727-4282. That's 727-4282.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Of 97 patients, 33 are vaccinated, and 63% are considered incidental.
See, this is what I'm upset about. He's basically made up the percentages to look like it's at 100%, but the two are not related to each other.
What's 37% of 97?
It's 35.89.
So why in the hell can't he literally ask iPhone to do that in his articles?
Maybe he's got an Android.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
Seminole Headlines is brought to you by Register Sausage, serving the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. To find a store near you or to buy directly from Registers, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Keeping it rolling here as we've got headliner questions and, listen, most of these kind of central theme about slapping. So I'm ignoring some of the slapping questions because we've answered as many of these slapping questions as possible. Sean wants to know what's the overall injury status of Tyler Martin.
That's a good question. Tyler Martin had a really impressive freshman year, even though he was banged up. I guess he had that, it was a shoulder.
Yep.
And then we thought he was going to be good coming into the season. Then right before the season, Meat said that he had either a setback or wasn't coming along as quickly. and it just continues to go. And all meat will say is it's day to day, but
yeah,
you don't usually have a day to day injury that
or
goes
in the middle of the year.
long.
He's had one at bat and he walked. He hasn't swung the bat yet, I don't think.
I am going to say this: if you've got a shoulder issue and it's nagging, and it's probably, we saw it with Reese Albert. I mean, that can be a situation that it's
a bad injury to have.
Really tough, almost in all sports, but especially baseball. I mean, there's not really anything you do in baseball that wouldn't involve your shoulder. You're going to swing, you're going to have to throw, anything.
He'd really help defensively. Obviously, offensively, because he gets on base and doesn't strike out a lot. But defensively, if you could put him at first.
DH Terrell.
Yeah, man, because he's not a great first baseman, but he's a perfect DH. He's got the glove of a DH. No offense, he's not been great over there. But all of a sudden, your offense, your defense gets better too.
Yeah, because Tyler made plays there. He didn't just he wasn't just competent. He could make plays.
Man, Tyler was supposed to be an infielder, like a legitimate middle infielder. He's got the ability to do that. But I think in this instance, if he ever came back, he'd be the first.
It's like with little kids when you're coaching like 8 and 9 year olds, you put the best player at first base.
Oh yeah,
because somebody has to catch it.
Somebody has to catch it every single time. Yeah, and much to the chagrin, and I'm not saying he's the best player, but my son got put at first base a lot, even though he was a better center fielder, and they would always say that. You catch it. He's like, yeah, but I hate this. I don't want to play first.
Too, though. He's a big target.
He's a big kid, but it sucked for him because he's like, I have to sit over here and all these Aaron ass throws. I'm like, but you catch them. That's why you're there. Stuart writes, and Stuart, I've been on this for a long, long time. It is a shame. He writes, why do we play Florida in such a stupid way? Why don't they play us in a series?
You've got an issue with this, Jeff?
Oh my God! Never heard me mention this.
Did you mention this? You never mentioned this before.
It is dumb as hell. I almost am in favor of scrapping the series. Just it doesn't do anything. Random Tuesday, throw some slappy out there. That's a midweek guy. I'm not saying us. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
You get no idea who's the better team at all. We could win 10 straight, all these midweek, and they could win 10 straight and did at one point or whatever it was. It doesn't tell you anything. Doesn't tell you anything. It sucks.
I think when they first switched, it was like Bo Odell would always pitch against Florida. Like 60% of his starts.
Bo Odell reference. Well done, sir.
Florida. But that's becoming Carson Montgomery. He's just going to pitch against Florida
every time. And I get so mad because I was fortunate enough, obviously, either as a student or when I broke into this business to be able to I watched it when it was 2-2, where you'd play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That was awesome.
2-2 was awesome because you'd be 2 games in Gainesville, 2 games in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
And then the six games against Miami.
Oh, that was wars.
Those 10 games a year were
and I loved every bit of it.
But it's crazy that Miami plays Florida every year in baseball and does a usually to open the season, I feel like. And then Florida State plays Miami every year. But Florida State and Florida, they do Tuesdays every 2 weeks for a 6 week
and one of them's in Jacksonville. And I get
the Jacksonville game is awesome.
It's a money grab. I get what they're doing it.
From an environment standpoint.
Oh, it's really cool. Yeah. Especially tonight with the weather that should be great. I mean, that's going to be a packed house. That'll be a good game.
Yeah, if you're in Jacksonville and you don't go to a lot of college baseball games, it's a cool environment because you have half Florida fans, half Florida State fans. And it's great baseball, 2 really good programs.
Yeah, it is. I'm fine. Keep that, whatever you want to do. But I would have a 3-game series somewhere. A real series where your Friday starters going, my Friday starter, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's see what we got. Let's see what your bench is.
And South Carolina do. They play 3 games in a row in a weekend, but they do it in 3 different locations. They do one in South Carolina, one somewhere else, and one in Clemson. It's like you could do that. Just keep going up the
and what's weird,
highway.
Meat and O'Sullivan are friends. I mean, it's not like there's this like where we can't talk to each other. Like work it out, man. Figure out a way.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're friendly. I don't.
Well, they're friendly.
Yeah, I don't think
they're best friends.
I don't think they're hanging out.
His wedding.
Yeah.
He was at his wedding.
I don't think they're hanging
out. Muschamp and Jimbo.
Yeah,
sharing the beach house.
Yeah, right. No, it is frustrating though. And Stuart, to your question, for a lot of the younger listeners of the demographic here, let's say, this was not the way it was. This used to be a series, a legitimate series. You played 4 times. You played on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they switched it back and forth every year because it was be 2 down in Gainesville, 2 in Tallahassee. It was intense. You got a chance to see everybody's elite starters on down. You got to see how good your bench was. You got to see
your pen.
Everything about it was a thorough examination of both teams. And you knew by the time that series ended where you stood, along with the 6 games you played against Miami because they were a perennial top 5 team. So, a lot of that's gone, and I miss it terribly because it sucks. This one-off nonsense is useless. It's like playing Troy on a random Tuesday, although didn't we lose to Troy this year?
Lost to Mercer,
somebody, whatever the hell it is.
But it was at Mercer.
It was at Mercer. Yeah, it was at Mercer. Yeah, it really was.
Nobody goes into Mercer.
Yeah, that's
good point. Just stroll on in.
You're not strolling into that.
Expect to walk out with a victory. Let me get back to some Twitter questions. Although we may have, guys, we're slim pickings. I mean, the people are ready.
Well, once you ruled out all the slap questions.
Yeah, man. That was
how many slap questions do you want me to read? apparently Chris Rock represents any number of horrible scenarios in Florida State football history.
Yes.
And which one of them would we slap? It's been up there several times over.
One you didn't see coming. Like, that's the other thing. It wasn't just a
Oh,
straight up fight.
Jacksonville State's a slap that nobody saw coming. I'll tell you
that might be the all-time. Didn't see that coming at all.
Didn't get
Shock
your
and horror.
hands up. It wasn't just a slap. It was a solid punch.
Yeah, and then they kick. Yeah, and then they celebrated for 45 minutes,
On
danced
your
around
field,
you. Yeah,
dug up stuff, made fun of who you were.
yeah, and then the coach got fired. That's how good that Jacksonville State team was.
That the drive with NC State in 2012,
Oh,
where they hit all the fourth downs.
Oh my! And there was two balls that should have been intercepted.
That was the one where Xavier Rhodes,
yeah.
either Xavier Rhodes was going to pick it and somebody else
Tipped
deflected,
it,
or vice versa.
It was coming right to Xavier Rhodes, and I can't remember who jumped in
Patrick
front of him and knocked
Robinson
him
or
away.
somebody, or no, he may have been gone.
No, he was gone. It was somebody that jumped in the way of Xavier Rhodes, who I think was literally sitting there and going to catch it like
it's going to
like
be
a
an easy
newborn baby.
interception.
Like, it was just to him.
I don't think we have any more questions, guys.
You can always go to the actual chat. People are always throwing questions in there. I think that's what's kind of cut into the Facebook and Twitter, is that people can ask questions during
I
the
just
chat,
wanted
too.
to be sure. I didn't want to anger this guy. We were already on rocky ground over the last 2 weeks.
Man,
So I
been-
made sure I got
guys, you
every
don't know what
last Twitter question possible. They have been thoroughly vetted.
It has been really awkward in here during the breaks. Don't let this stuff during the show fool you. These guys, there's something going on here, and I don't quite understand what it is.
So I had to
feel like I'm a mediator.
Do you ever? Well, I know Stephanie listens to the show occasionally. Christy never does. I don't know if
Never.
anybody ever tells her anything about the show.
Oh yeah, no, it comes up. Yeah.
I had like an inquisition the other night because
Uh-oh.
our little thing last week about me
The yarn?
Yes, and me telling you that like how I would talk to Kim, but
Did
specifically
that guy brought up to her?
you talking about the wall of yarn.
Yeah.
Uh,
She had to chuckle. She has a sense of humor.
well, she hadn't heard it, but somebody she works with heard it and brought it up to her.
She thought that's potentially hurtful.
She just thought I was making fun of the yarn. I was like, first of all, it wasn't me. It was Jeff Cameron.
Jeff was making fun of the yarn.
Jeff Cameron.
Yeah.
But
That's not the first time.
you were not defending her at
Yeah,
all.
you
But
weren't
you didn't
saying-
Will Smith that at
But
all.
then I explained how it all started with me telling you that no, that's not how it would happen in my house. I would
Yeah.
tell her.
So yeah,
Right.
it's
She didn't
tongue in
love-
cheek.
She didn't love that, so I had to actually play it for her.
Did she ever know that the origin story, if you will, from the yarn, like that time you came on,
The Zoom.
it was the Zoom, and I was like, "What's with all the yarn behind you?" And then you instantly regretted that you had not
Where I sat.
where you sat, and we were like, "What is going on with the
It's
yarn?"
a house of yarn. over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It was. So anyhow, that was.
What's that like to have, like, my ex-wife still listens to this
Right.
show, but your two wives not once have taken any interest in
No,
this
we're
show.
both happy
not
about it,
even
I'm assuming.
not even just like a sheer curiosity to see. Well, let's see what they're like for 6 minutes.
She back when I was on 3 to 6, and then, like we, and subsequently Seminole Headlines was as well when we did it that way. She on the way home from school, she would.
Let me
tune in.
phrase it another way. If your two wives had a podcast talking
Yeah, I
about
would
yarn,
listen. I feel
or
like I would
talking
listen.
about
Talk-
whatever,
no.
parenting, whatever it would be, making
parenting,
money,
I'd listen.
whatever their
Making
podcast
money,
is.
that'd be something.
Just their podcast. They have a podcast every week. Don't you think just you would tune in occasionally just to see how they're doing?
I
don't
see her every
understand how
day.
y'all don't
I
take
see
offense
my
to it.
wife every day.
It
I
just
know
seems-
how she's doing.
Seems so
You
callous.
mean like professionally?
Yeah, just how they sound.
I
If
ask
it's
her how
funny,
she's doing at work.
if it's a good, if it was a good show.
It wouldn't be. They're not professional broadcasters, neither one of them.
All right, well, there you go. Well, then don't start a podcast, Tim and Christy.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't think it would be very good.
I still think you'd listen to it just to see how they were doing.
And they actually get along swimmingly. They went to a concert last
Yeah,
year
yeah,
together.
yeah.
They enjoyed it. I mean, they do. My wife even came home and was like, I need to do more with Kim. I'm like, well, they live around the damn corner. Go
Yeah.
do something with her.
Yeah, please get out of the house.
I'm like, go.
Get out of here.
Start a podcast.
Yeah, do something that gets you out of the house with her for
I can
hours
tell you what
on
they
end.
don't-
Go. Ira and I'll hang out and watch ball.
I can tell you what they don't talk about: the Seminole headline. They do not. They don't even know the name of the show.
Literally, if we stopped doing it, I wonder how long it would take before Kim.
You guys aren't doing
realized.
Seminole headlines?
Years.
What's going on?
Years. Like, it doesn't impact her, right? It's not like it affects her on Tuesdays, right? That you're doing this.
No.
They'd see that they were missing out on that register sausage money, though. and it
Well,
and
that's
then all
right.
of a
Where's it
sudden,
starting to dry up?
What's happening here? Briley wants to know, Florida State football, Warchant TV. If we start the season 2-1, what's the final record? How much different is your answer with a 1-2 start? What about 3-0? Okay,
Now, see, somebody came at me last week because I said how important Louisville is, how important that game is. I think it was on the Sunday Smash I said it. And their point was, look, last year you guys said they have to win all these games at the beginning of the season, and then
Yeah.
they didn't.
Right.
And then they beat teams you
Yeah,
didn't
they-
think they were.
yeah, right.
So, yeah, it's not the end of the world. But, again, we're talking about restoring order. I think that Louisville game's a big game. I mean, those are the games they have to start winning. LSU would be awesome if they win that game. But you've got to start beating ththese other teams in the ACC that are not Clemson.
Okay, so we assume the one is a guarantee. It's Duquesne, August the 27th. Okay, that's why we're looking at Louisville. Because there's a bye
Louisville,
between
LSU. If you split those,
yeah,
I think if you split those, you're
then you're 2-1, and then
you're probably an 7 or 8 win team. But again, you don't know what if Travis gets hurt in the 5th game? You know, I mean, like it's just so hard to predict that.
No, listen, any hypothetical that we use regarding predictive records,
staying healthy.
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I don't want to sit here and say, if they go 3-0, they're going to be 10-2, and then.
Well, but I'm saying again, we're assuming that your starters, or especially a quarterback, are going to stay healthy. If they're 3-0, and by the way, if they beat, let me tell you, if they go 2-0 to start the year, the expectations. You won't be mad that you're missing that PJ show, because that Louisville game on September the 17th,
especially because I'm not missing that PJ show.
I've already got. You see where I'm going here, but think about that. I mean. You had a chance to go 3-0 with Boston College on the horizon.
Come get some,
man. All of a sudden, you're thinking 4-0, top 20.
But man, there was a time about 1 year ago where we talked ourselves into they might be 4-1 or 5-0.
Yeah,
and then they were 0-4.
They were close though, an overtime loss. A
Who knows what that does?
Questionable play there at the end of the Jacksonville State game. You're that close to being 2-0. You're that close to being 2-0.
You had a chance today, if you had been a pro day, to ask Brownlee about that questionable play.
That's right.
You could have brought that up. Yeah. Come back, wrap it up momentarily. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Whidden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Whidden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Whidden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Whidden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Whidden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take-home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat-screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime. Seminole Headlines is brought to you by Register Sausage, serving the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. To find a store near you or to buy directly from Registers, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Just convinced myself during the break as I went through the schedule again with that
9 wins.
Big start to the year. Get that win over Duquesne. Who knows what that does for confidence, guys? You don't usually win that first game.
You haven't in a long, long time.
All of a sudden, you roll into New Orleans on a Sunday, September the 4th. We're all there.
Obama was in office the last time Florida State won
frothing at the mouth for this game. We're all nuts. We've won. The three of us have probably won $100,000 minimum at Harrah's.
Yeah,
we've probably really been breaking it in.
I never lose when I go to a casino. It's weird. I crush craps.
And then
kind of a perfect plan.
Then we kind of gather ourselves. We all need the bye week. They need it to come down after the big win.
Yeah.
We needed to gather ourselves and rehydrate and gather and figure out what we're going to do with our winnings. And then it's on the road to Louisville, where you'll be bringing us the action live there at Louisville. I'll shoot pictures of the show.
Well, no, again, like I said, I will be. I can actually do my post game wrap up
from Nashville. Yeah.
I'll
be there.
Pearl Jam is
you
on
and I'll be outside the post game.
Yeah, and
Let's check in with Ira at the game. We're here in Nashville.
You hear a live in the background. Well, we've got to wrap this up, Ira.
So then you beat Louisville, and you enjoy some whiskey. We all have a good time out there. But boy, the party never ends, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's back here for Boston College, who wants none of it in September. It's going to be 100.
Yeah.
No chance for them to come in and win that game. Then
none.
You got a revenge game against Wake Forest.
They don't want any part of it
If not
either.
for those flukish plays and ridiculous calls, that game would have been very close.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's on the road at NC State. That's the big one. This is the one that's standing in the way of an
That's the
undefeated
tipping
season,
point.
guys.
So right there,
you're all rise up.
Going into that. You're 5-0. They're probably 5-0.
Two
game
top
day,
10 teams
game
in
days
Raleigh.
there. Yeah, game days there. It's probably number 8 versus number 4.
Can you keep the momentum after a 24-21 victory? Can you get focused in time for Clemson, who at that point is scuffling?
Mm-hmm.
They're scuffling.
Trying
More
to
signs
more
of further decay.
QB controversy still probably
without
going on.
question. The luster, the shine is no longer on that hick on the sideline.
Clemson's right after NC State?
Yes.
So it's the real question is game day going to do a Florida State game 2 weeks in a row?
2 weeks.
That's what we're going to have to figure out in October.
Thankfully, we get another bye, though.
Good.
And then it's Georgia Tech.
That's no chance.
Sparse
Jackets.
crowd there.
Yeah.
Sparse crowd for the Georgia Tech game. I'm going to tell you.
Is that in Atlanta?
It's here.
It's here. Oh, you're right.
It
It
is
is here.
It is here, everybody.
It won't be a sparse crowd. They're going to be 7-0 and number 3 in the country.
Yeah. Okay. Then it's on the road at Miami.
Easy.
I'll take that assignment, guys. I'll go down to Miami. You want to go? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go down to Miami. I want you to take me to your old eateries. I want to go to the stomping grounds. Let's do it. I'm serious about that. Then it's at Syracuse. Corey's got that.
Miami
game.
Subs, right? And that's the place you
the
went
big
to
Miami
the most?
Subs. Still neon.
Yeah.
I got all that.
Don Johnson.
At Syracuse, Corey's got that assignment.
Yep.
Then we're back home to Louisiana, and then it's Florida. Here.
That Louisiana's a trap game now, but you're going to be 10-0.
Yeah, Napier took half the team.
Well, you're right. So I feel like you're 10-0. They're just coming for a paycheck. You might dispatch them pretty easily.
Really on a Friday night, another Friday night, we get a big matchup against Florida with the nation watching to see if we go undefeated.
Either way, you're in the ACC championship game. It's just a matter of
who we playing. Who we playing out of the Coastal?
It's probably going to be
Miami. Doesn't recover from the loss at home in
right.
Miami Gardens to us in November. That's too quick a turnaround.
Yeah, probably Georgia Tech. I think it's.
So that was a precursor. That's
yeah,
round one.
That's what they're going to be saying during that game too. Is there's going to be a rematch in a couple weeks.
Who took the Virginia Tech job?
I was just about to say Virginia Tech, and I couldn't remember who their new coach was. It's not Beamer.
Do you want to? You see how
Fuente.
it is when it's the off season? That none of us can say off the top of our heads who the new Virginia Tech coach is.
Who is it? He took Marv with him, right? Marv's his
it's the guy that he used to be Penn State's defensive coordinator.
Or
something like that.
Yeah,
not Sandusky.
What a hire! It's Brent Pry.
Oh, okay, Pry. That's right.
Yeah, Brent Pry. We could have been here a while.
Yeah,
I don't think the three of us.
You could have given me the initials. You could have given me the initials. I wouldn't have.
I think it's also very funny that we had no idea. So my man, he's making $4 million. He's 51 years old. He's from Altoona, Pennsylvania, and he went to the University of Buffalo. We now know everything there is to know about
Brent Pry.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be him in Charlotte. Either way, we'll be in Charlotte for the championship.
You're not expecting Pitt to make a return?
No, they can't. The Pickett thing was one magic moment.
Narduzzi was wise to cash in after the big
that was smart.
Kenny Pickett.
I didn't get a chance to do Charlotte, North Carolina last year, so I'm excited about that.
Why would you have?
Although pick out the Southern Cal kid, didn't they? Transfer the quarterback.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
All right.
For the ACC kickoff.
Oh, that's what you meant. I thought you were talking about the ACC championship.
No,
game.
no,
We didn't either.
I'm talking about the ACC kickoff, guys.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was at Beach.
I didn't get to go. I'm excited. Let's go. Let's do it up.
I'm excited about it, man.
Hardest Ira ever partied outside of LA was there in Charlotte one year with us.
We had a good time.
We had a good time there. And then another time we need to bring it back to Pinehurst.
That place.
Hey, listen.
It's out in the middle of nothing.
Out in the middle of nothing is right, but that had that folksy little bar that we all liked.
So we used to literally every year, Kim would be like, okay, so what weekend of December is the AC Championship game? Because I got to mark that off.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. When's the next time we got to worry about the date of the AC Championship?
I mean, I think we just went through it, Ira. Whatever that is, December 5th, 2022.
I thought we were having fun there.
Oh, no, I was being dead serious. I would say, I'm going to tell you, man, if I know y'all don't think Travis would come back, but if Travis has a nice year and returns for 2023, and all these guys are a year older and a year better, and you get some more transfer kids in, I think you're setting yourself up for a run at it at least. Where you people wouldn't laugh at you if you said, I gotta make sure they're not playing that week. Like right now, I've planned something.
I have
early
planned
December.
for the weekend of the ACC championship.
Yeah, I'm not
really worried about it. Yeah, we've all made our plans. You're right. My wife used to do that. She'd be like, ACC championship game is this date. You're going to be in Charlotte for the preseason meetings. Then you've got this, and this. And now it's like, just schedule
the new year,
you want, babe. It doesn't really
somewhere around the new year. You're not going to be here.
Corey's scheduling concerts.
Yeah, like it doesn't
nights
matter.
of games.
At that point, they're 4 games under 500. Let's just,
That was really, really heartbreaking.
Haphazard.
When I was like, oh, Pearl Jam's announced it. Awesome. These tickets I've had in my wallet on my phone wallet for 2.5 years.
That's hard.
I
now.
will
These
get to
days,
see it.
You can see it every time you go to your wallet.
And I'm like, awesome, man. I'm going to go finally get to see him. And no, it's the night of the Louisville game. So that was awesome.
Hey, man, this job is the best job in the world.
I know.
We get a chance to go to Louisville and cover Florida State versus Louisville and in a turnaround year.
And we've had so many good trips there for games in the past.
Yeah, that's true. We got to see Lamar Jackson.
That was a great one.
Yeah, it was.
Man, I tried to warn everybody, don't go to that game. I first guessed that one. Yeah. I was like, this is going to get ugly, and it did.
The Thursday nighter in 14 would down 21-0. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a big one because that's still my favorite play of the Jameis Winston era. Oddly,
unbelievable.
The interception followed by the tackle followed by the scoop,
yeah.
And every Louisville fan knew that's it.
That was nuts.
It's still nuts. For Corey Clark and Ira Chaffel, I'm Jeff Cameron. Thanks to all of you putting up with our nonsense. And off to practice we go. We'll have more context and information for you on warchant.com. And, of course, the Wake Up Warchant show and the JCS. All of it. Ira's writings, whatever you're writing about today. What are you going to write about today?
Good question.
He lets the practice dictate what he's going to write
do.
about. He doesn't go in with a preconceived notion of what he's going to write about.
We'll talk to you next time. Be good, everybody. Peace.